Alright, so we got our Big Crazy Town production book. We got like 30, at least, deals that we could work on. Some of them are movies, some of them are shows.
Some of them are video games.
Some of them are notes on stuff that's like already out in pop culture in general. Stuff that makes us mad and we want to go back through it. And even a graphic novel that goes on and on and on. Probably another one or two that we have in our heads. What do you, any of these?
Sesame Street sounded cool.
Sesame Street, donuts. Could do donuts.
Donuts, a Mighty Max. We talked about that the other day.
Yeah, I don't really feel like doing Mighty Max right now.
Okay.
We also have Ridiculous. Could do Ridiculous.
Pleasantville. We could do Pleasantville.
Pleasantville? You wanted to do Pleasantville? Let's do
Pleasantville.
Alright, so I'm John.
I'm Patrick.
And welcome to Crazy Town Productions. And this is Pleasantville in the writer's room. Alright, and here we do story crafting.
And one of our ideas is a TV show based on the TV show in the movie Pleasantville. So in Pleasantville, there's
which was a 1998 movie with Tobey Maguire, Reese Witherspoon, Jeff Daniels. It was a good movie.
Paul Walker.
Right. It had Paul Walker played kind of the heartthrob teenage. What was it, captain of the basketball team?
Captain of the basketball team.
And Jeff Daniels was the
and he was super wholesome.
Right. Very wholesome. Everything was super wholesome. And this is just a lovely movie.
Right.
And I want to go back to that wholesome town. I want Leave It to Beaver. And Leave It to Beaver's unbearably cheesy and dated. You know what I mean? But
has qualities to it.
All right, so it has a quality to it, a nice, happy quality to it. All right, so yeah, it was a good movie. Had good messages. Mostly black and white. There's a scene where the mother has fun with herself in the bathtub, and it lights the tree
on fire
outside. Right. So that's the Pleasantville that we're basing our project on, and we have tons of projects. Put some notes in our 3-ring binder, dividers for anything that's worth working on some more, and
we're talking about with you guys.
And we don't even have any notes on Pleasantville because we came up with this pretty much now.
On the fly.
Yeah, right. So there was the show we're basically talking about.
The show that's inside of Pleasantville.
Okay, so yeah, not the movie Pleasantville, the Leave It to Beaver-esque
show that's within it.
Yeah, which is weird.
Yeah. It's really cool that way, though, too.
It's cool. But it's like this 1950s... So
golden era.
Yes, it's cool. Okay, so then there's the Stepford Wives.
The Stepford Wives, right, which is like, all futuristic, perfect town with some creepiness behind it.
It was made in 1975. It was a show, and then there was a movie in 2004. Right. And I liked the movie. I never saw the show, but
yeah, the movie did it justice.
Right. But I do know Monsanto, the Monsanto company. They used to make these little weird videos that I have some of, and it's like what Epcot Center from Disney's Epcot Center has, like the Wall of Tomorrow and the Halls of Tomorrow, and so that's the kind of stuff you'd see in the Stepford Wives, and very cool stuff. And that's the kind of stuff Monsanto would sell. They try to sell you this whole plastic bubble house where you could pull
up your
all your dishes out of the countertop, and all your plates
they're all clean.
Yeah. Everything's very the House of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And by now
doorbell with a visual screen.
Right. Anybody notice that in America we don't have doorbells anymore? I think that's like just a portrayal of how far we've fallen. Nobody has doorbells in a time where we should have
there should be video screens at this point, or have you noticed that we've even gotten rid of the intercom system?
Yeah, no, right. You're in one room, and you just politely press a button and it goes to the living room.
Or even intercoms in apartment buildings, for you to
all those old
I'm the
systems
delivery guy.
All those old systems are falling apart. So where's the golden era? Where's
our golden era?
Where's Epcot's The Wall of Tomorrow? With the philosopher wizard or whatever that was. That was there with the hovering flying cars in the back. Yeah, okay. So there's no flying cars in 2015. There's no. Everything's bad, and
right.
And we want something nice. I want to do that golden era stuff again.
The House of Tomorrow.
The House of Tomorrow, just like Epcot's Wall of Tomorrow, Hall of Tomorrow. Well, they had both. They had that big mural.
Yeah.
And then you walked through, and it was showing you what the future should look like. And
it's like Tomorrowland or something.
Yeah, Tomorrow. Okay, so, and they did make the Disney movie Tomorrowland.
Yeah, they did.
Right. And pretty much the whole movie is about how there was no Tomorrowland.
It was mythical.
So that's kind of sad. All right, so.
And you had to be a special to get there.
All right, so anyway.
Golden era.
Yeah, so we want to show what America could be, what America should be. Golden era stuff, 1950s. But not nasty 1950s. Maybe even the 1950s look was kind of more black and white with the hat. And in Pleasantville, the movie, people had the poofy dresses, and so maybe even more like 60s patterns. Like when you watch the older of the Hulk movies, and he goes underneath the table.
Yeah.
And you're looking at all the wallpaper and the mother's dress, and it's all very like cool 60s. So that kind of look for, I guess, the kids.
Yeah.
The kids in the town
have that kind of look.
Right. Where else was it? A Beautiful Sunshine and Spotless Mind? They were underneath the table again, and the lady was saying to Jim Carrey, like, "Oh, look at these patterns. Look at and she was admiring it all. Yeah. So that look, the malts and shakes, the Back to the Future, the original Back to the Future look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grease. That's a cool look. That's a classic America look. And so you take that look. Essentially, we're taking the show, and we're putting it in like the year
2150.
Yeah,
or 2050.
2050. Yeah, that was it. 2050, and by 2050, the world's not
changed.
Yeah, the world's changed. The world's gotten nastier.
Yeah.
So
seems like it's just gonna keep going down.
China's gonna run out of water soon, and somehow resource wars kind of seem
like a thing
that's gonna be happening soon, right? So I guess we got a burbclave going on here, as Neil Stevenson might call it.
Yes, and this is a completely closed off town.
Gated community.
Yeah, because there's no other way to do it. And you want to make sure that it's a gated, or not even gated, but like closed loop town. It's very hard to get in and out. And it's fun that way because it makes it so that, it's hard for newcomers to come in. And it's hard for you to leave even. Like, you could live there your whole life and it'd be like, why would you leave? So it's like a kind of a roundabout town, like it's in the middle of nowhere, off the main road. You got to drive down some nothing road for a while, and then you get to this town, and it's like we're gonna have to change the name. It can't be Pleasantville. I don't know. Maybe it could. Maybe it could and should just be Pleasantville. Right.
Yeah, it could be nice.
Nice. Yeah, nice. Smiley face.
Smiley town.
Smiley town.
Smiley. Well, we'll just stick with Pleasantville at the moment. So you drive you somehow you're a newcomer. You drive off the beaten path, and you end up in this town in the middle of nowhere. And there's this big 1950s style sign, Back to the Future, the first movie sign.
Yeah.
And it says, welcome to Pleasantville. No one who ever
one who ever enters ever leaves.
Yeah, no one ever leaves.
Yeah.
That's it. Just no one ever leaves. And that's kind of like, whoa, what's up with this town? This town's kind of messed up. And you drive into town, and you know everybody's wearing clothes that are not from the same era.
Right. For some reason, there's lots of Vicky looking.
Oh yeah, the adults are Vikkis.
The adults are all Vickies, and like when you first get into town, there's like some farmer guy, and he's, hey, how's it going? All right. What's this place like? Oh, it's nice. It's Pleasantville. Oh, okay.
Where everybody's pleasant.
Where everyone's pleasant. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
And you know the guy drives by, keeps on driving. It's like that's kind of odd. And the guy on the phone is like
the farmer.
Yeah, the farmer gets onto his phone and does like group text. And
Right.
next thing you know, as the guy's coming into town, everyone's looking down at their phones and noticing the newcomer coming into town.
Right. All right.
And it's very creepy that way, but at the same time, it's also very friendly. And back to the Vikkis, because that needs to be explained.
Yeah, there's a reason for that, and so it's weird to be a newcomer there, which is kind of we wanted like a Twilight Zone kind of a thing, or at least we just started talking about Pleasantville and how it'd be nice to
At least have that as a vibe. Yeah.
So so it's nice to have that vibe. But the point would be to do like the Americana. It's the great American novel. You show a slice of America. So that's what this would be, and not where the person goes through America and there's all this horrified stuff and then they learn this lesson in the end, or the British novel where it's off at the boarding school and the kid would have learned a lesson, but he died early.
Right.
Was swimming and broke his leg or kept swimming. None of that.
No of mice and men.
Oh my God, Lord in heaven. So just like those dramatic religious expressions. But it's a place out of time, and the reason why everybody's a Vikki is because it's a generational thing.
Right.
So if we want. Well, we wanted to show the kids as the malt teeny, not I wanted to say teeny boppers, but the malt shakes.
Yeah, the malt shakes and
the golden era.
The gold.
Okay, so
the proper.
Right. So we wanted to show how America could be. That's all it was. That's all.
Yeah, it's how America could be, and what America once was as well, and how they merge. Or how you could merge them.
So I kind of want a golden era. We want the Stepford Wives, the functional, where you press a button on your countertop and all your dishes raise up in a stack. And granted, the Monsanto houses that the Stepford Wives had, they were all plastic, but
yeah.
But you put your dishes in the house of tomorrow. What's that Ray Bradbury book, I believe? And then there will come soft rain, where the house just does everything and takes care of everything by itself. The children's bedroom plays
holographic.
It's like Teddy. Yeah, it's like Teddy
Ruxpin, but hologram.
Right. It plays the stuff on the walls, and it tells a story, and the shadows on the walls move, and it tells you a bedtime story to the kids, and
that's really cool.
It prepares the meal, and or at least takes a lot of the preparation out of it. The dishes,
smart fridge type of deal.
Everything's smart. Everything's smart. Yeah. So that's cool, and we should have that.
Yeah.
Why don't we have that?
Lighting according to your TV.
Right. And there was the early edition show that was in the 90s. Now, early edition had a lot of positive vibes going on, but if you notice the culture in early edition, it was very judgmental. It was like this hardcore 90s judgmental show.
Yeah.
And we definitely want a little bit more than that. We want a society we want a good example.
Yeah, very progressive 1950s.
Well, it'd be nice if 1950s were progressive.
That's more what I was getting at. A more progressive version of the 1950s, I guess.
Yeah, because nowadays people are more progressive. People do know how to act nice. Or at least it'd be cool if you had a town where people gave each other the benefit of the doubt.
No matter what
that they were gonna be nice, or maybe they're having a bad day, but this is Pleasantville.
Yeah.
So everybody should be nice. That's why you're there. That's how you fit in. So you gotta base everything on that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of reminded of the Black Mirror episode where the lady from Lady in the Water, I can't remember what her name is. Story, I'll call her. The lady with the red hair from Jurassic Park.
Okay.
And all of society was based on the thumbs up votes, right?
Which was awful.
Yeah, that was horrifying, but I almost feel like in a functional town, everybody is actually kind of going for thumbs up.
Thumbs
Not
down.
necessarily digitally, but, as far as positive interactions with your neighbors. And there's this thing that Neil Stevenson has where he's got the Vikkis.
Yes.
And the Vikkis, the Neo-Victorians, they go to different, they like handcrafted things, and they're willing to pay a little bit extra to have something
handcrafted and
right
done personally.
Done personally, right? And they
custom.
They have this kind of culture that's all to their own.
Yeah.
The Vikki culture and the Neo-Vikkis, and they're cool. They're cool. They're steampunk.
Yeah, they're steampunk.
They're the same guys. You see them at conventions and stuff where you mod your Nintendo Switch to have like a wooden box.
They're very Charlie Chaplin-ish.
Right.
They have like more of a 1920s or something feel than
18. Well, it's more like
1890.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. 90s, I guess.
It's 1870s.
Yeah.
England kind of
train type of feel.
Train. Train parts. Lots of gear work. Lots of clockwork.
Lots of people in vests.
Yeah. So that's a
fob watch.
Right. So that's a good culture. That's a group of people that are really good at interacting with their neighbors. They're really good at you make meringue, and I'm not good at making meringue, and it's a pain in the butt, and so I'm gonna get my meringue from you.
Right.
And I want my pots and pans to be copper, and I want this top hat with a sash, and and you pay extra for this stuff, but you end up looking cool as hell.
Right. I want dyed hair and mustache and
the mustaches, the mustachery from
A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Nice, yeah. Of Neil Patrick Harris's shot. I don't believe you can afford the waxes for a mustache.
Meaning, if you have a beard, you're doing really well.
Yeah, a fine beard. So, lots of the villain curlicue mustaches.
There was one we saw the other day, Murder on the Orient Express, where the guy had like a mustache off of his mustache.
Right. So it's basically the hipster, the
Portland hipster,
the Portland hipster community, but like next gen. So like let's say the steampunk thing got stronger, or at least a group of them
get stronger
and decide to like found a town.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. They're very good at trade.
And mechanics. And there's 3D printers nowadays, so you would expect that there'd be even more bigger 3D printers in the future.
Right. So you'd have a town that's very good at 3D printing out a house. Having a toy store with a 3D printer in it.
Yes, that's a great one. I love the toy store.
Yeah. Okay, so we want a golden era show. The 1950s.
Yeah, and if you remember 1950s, everything was kind of do-it-yourself, too. There was, like, the butcher shop, the local metal guy, or the metal worker, the local,
Even in the 50s, though, they couldn't, even in the quote-unquote golden era, they couldn't actually make that work, because they were too racist, and too sexist, and too judgmental, and too weird.
Right.
So you need millennials, and,
nobody trusted the Sears delivery
and the
home
next
guys.
Yeah, no joke.
That's why the Sears home delivery system went down, because the racist 50s guys didn't trust it.
So a model of America town, but the Monsanto thing going on.
The Monsanto thing is height of
Stepford
the
Wives.
culture, yeah.
Stepford Wives. Go. I'm sorry. What?
The height of the modern.
Right. Everything that you can throw in that just shows golden era. It's just golden era. And but you have to put it in the future from now even.
Yeah.
Because
even if things get shitty, there's still this town of
language,
hope.
sir.
Sorry.
Good sir. Watch your language, as Betsy, I don't know, somebody would say.
Things are so bad now, even in the future, it gives you a hope.
There we go.
There's
Some hope. There we
yeah.
go. Yeah. So you have this nice Pleasantville show that doesn't have an undertext of anything but just friendliness. All people.
Their news all the news is in house.
Right. You look at the newspaper. Right. So the newcomers come to town, and they look at the newspaper, and it says front page. All other newspapers are a mirror of the world's ugliness. You know, like, okay, like that's weird. It's like the sign out front that you pull up to the town and
no one ever leaves.
Right. So it was, so you pull up to the town. It'd be off the beaten path or whatever, and it's like down some sort of lonely road, you know. And then there's like this road like loops around the whole town, and then it just goes
back to wherever.
Yeah, back the way you came. And out front is the 1955 Back to the Future billboard that says, you know, Pleasantville or
whatever,
Smiley Town, but you know.
Yeah, you are now entering.
Yeah, you're now, you know, welcome to Pleasantville, where no one ever leaves.
Right.
So like the newcomers, the fish out of water people, they come to town, and there's the creepy side.
It looks almost Amish coming in.
Yeah.
There might be like a farmer with a beard.
A very finely combed, you know, perfect beard. And well, back to Pleasantville. It's it's got like weird vibes to it. And it would be cool if this was a show, not a movie.
Yeah, that had those vibes. Like Cherry Hill or whatever it was, Makeout Point.
Makeout Point.
You know,
nice. But there's not going to be a monster that attacks. But
you know, it gives you that wholesomeness that's as much as you're gonna get. It's not Sex Point. It's Makeout Point.
Right.
You know,
so all the
you're not gonna get too frisky.
So to show it right, they're not gonna get, you know, if you go to Makeout Point, oh, I know what happens there. That's I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Maybe the kids are actually pretty well behaved down at Makeout Point. You know what I mean?
I was kind of thinking that too. Like, even then, it's still pretty well behaved.
Yeah, you go down there and it's mostly you hold hands and then you get out of Makeout Point because that's too adult or something.
Right.
You think about it.
Lots of hand holding.
Yeah, and you do the whole, like, you know...
Separate beds was one of the things in Pleasantville.
Was it?
Yes, was that the man and the wife had separate beds.
And then the woman ends up going to the bathtub by herself at one point and played some jazz on herself, and the tree out front lights on fire.
And
everything starts coming to color. And I don't think we need to do that. The color thing?
No, we don't have to do that.
But I do think that the adults, that there should be like this generational difference, you know?
And ageism.
And there's ageism.
Yeah.
There's ageism going on in the town. That nice, yeah.
And maybe even it shows in perspective. Like maybe the Vikkis look in black and white and the kids look in like some pastel color.
Nice, yeah.
You know?
So the Vikkis, you show the adults, they're all very serious. You show the town council meeting, and it's all in black and white. You know, whenever it's council meetings, it's in black and white. But kids are in color.
Or at least in like that weird pastel type color.
Yeah, the 1950s, teeny bopper, golden era type stuff. You know, so the adults are what, like
Letterman jackets and sweaters. Very Yale-ish.
Poodle skirts with actual poodles on it, But it wouldn't be poodles. It'd be like Hello Kitty this time.
What's it called? The tenors? You know what I mean? Or the quartets.
The quartet.
The Yale guys that they all sing harmoniously together.
So, like, you put a generation ahead from now. So that brings you to, like, 2050. Or maybe a little bit, maybe even 2055, 100 years past 1955.
Right.
And you give the younger generation the poodle skirts and the Happy Days revival.
Okay.
Because
yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, because like in Looper, that's I think how we got to the Vicky thing was Looper. Because in Looper, I can't remember the kid's name. LBJ, JLB, the kid from Brick. There's a great movie called Brick, by the way. Everybody should watch it.
It is a great movie. I can't remember that actor's name.
Anyway, the main
character
from Brick wore it was like a leather jacket with like kind of like 90s sort of look, with like jeans, and it was some sort of like early 90s, but like kind of a serious, but then like washed through the 2000s and then like
washed again through the 20s or something.
Yeah, and I think it was Jeff Daniels again was saying, your look is just copying older looks from movies that are copying older movies, right? So that's so we know that 70s show came around and that was a pretty good hit, and we're seeing right now kind of an 80s revival.
Right.
So who's and we're seeing a little steampunk right now.
Yeah, so it would be a Vicky type revival.
Well, we like that look.
Yeah.
Anyway, we like the adults having that look. We like that kind of Amish.
Yeah, that's close to Amish.
Yeah, and the Vickies kind of like black and white stuff. In any steampunky house, people have some black and white photos here and there.
And it gives it that edge of creepiness you kind of want.
Yeah, it does. Like what the hell's up with these guys? So let's say it's 20. It's like a generation from now, and the kids that are not born yet, like that are like starting to be born like next year. Starting to be born in 2020, that generation, past the millennials, past the whatever, I generation, Z generation, whatever, we'll figure it out in 10 years. Into the next generation, the kind of the generation that could theoretically fight in the resource wars. And it's like it could be really, really messed up for them. They could be like, well, who do you join in the resource wars? Do you join on the side of China, who's running out of water because they need water, and that's a legitimate bunch of people that need help, or do you join on the side of Thailand because China's choking off their river and they're trying to invade or something like that?
Or do you go for Canada for its energy propulsion or whatever? It's wind propulsion energy.
Yeah, because they have a good societal economic structure. Or do you go for the old United States? Because they damn it, lost that war because they needed help in that war against Canada or something.
Right.
So a real confused maybe generation,
Even it could even be the type where it's like, we came back home from fighting other people for resources to ending up back to fighting for resources.
Yeah, back here in America.
Yeah, like as soon as we got back from fighting the Iran versus whatever for water, and China, and Iran versus China for water or something, we had to come back home, and it was, we ran out of oil in the Iran whatever war.
So we had to invade Canada.
We had to invade Canada for their...
steal all their wind turbines.
Oh
my god, what a confusing world. Alright, so we want a nice, happy show, but it could be weird in that people from outside town, they don't dress like the people in this town. And this town's got its own thing going on. And it's the kind of place that looks wonderful. It looks picturesque. It looks, what is that, Norman Rockwell or something like that?
Just perfect.
Perfect. And it's a functional little society. And the sign outside says,
no one
ever leave.
Yeah.
But the reason why nobody ever leaves is because it's a nice place. And if you're not a jerk,
You're going to stay.
You're going to stay, but then also if you come through town and you're a stranger, people are going to want to talk about it. People are going to, Miss Cratchit, Miss Across the Street, who's this weirdo that's coming into our open door, unlocked community here? And
everyone's looking at you like it's that one movie where the guy breaks his leg. Yeah, and he has to watch you out the window. He's watching his neighbors out the window.
Disturbia with Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah, if everyone was doing that just to the newcomer.
Just to the stranger?
Yeah, just to the stranger driving.
It's like, dude, how do you even drive down here? Town could be like Eureka, And
a little bit ahead of its time just because of, or at least it's more fixed, like it might have been the town of tomorrow before the resource wars, and now it
really is
the town of tomorrow
we want Pleasantville.
Yeah,
we want the show inside the movie, inside the Tobey Maguire, Reese Witherspoon 2004 movie, Pleasantville, and where everything was nice and
everyone kind of has a job that they know what to do and how to do it, and that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
and it might be monotonous, but you can always switch it up. Plus, when you have 3D printers in the world, you have a lot of time.
Yeah, right.
To do whatever you really want.
This used to take forever, but now I'll just hit the button. All right, what do you want to do? Oh, job is done. All right, that was a really great George Jetson day. I'll come back in 3 hours and push a button again. It'll be great.
I might have to screw the pieces together or something.
Right. So, Town of Tomorrow, kind of Stepford Wives-y. Strange things going on with it. Black and white adults, sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
But they wouldn't be Josiah and Jeremiah. So it'd be they're the revival of the steampunk guys. The kids are the revival of the 1955
steampunk guys.
No. The boppers or whatever. The grease type people. Except the cars this time, they probably would want like that metal car, but you're not going to get it. So you have to 3D print it.
But you're going to try and make it look as close as you can.
Right.
And so it's going to be even more rockety looking, probably.
Right, yeah. It's going to have that, like, really, the paint jobs that you can barely ever get except for at the car shows where it's like that glitter red.
Yeah.
And it matches Mary Sue's lipstick. She's got a Cadillac that matches, her pink dress, So, and that's something the adults would approve of.
Very kid carish.
I'm just saying the adults would approve of that culture.
Yeah.
That golden era culture. And maybe they're kind of,
because it's still custom, doing your own thing.
Right, and the kids are going to be different than the adults. Right, so the adults all decide. The adults are all steampunky with the top hats and the sashes and the gold buttons, lots of metal with velvets, and the wives have maybe very plush dark silk like you find in the noble ladies wearing Sherlock Holmes stuff.
Right.
They look like Renaissance paintings of nobility clothing. Some lush dark green silk dress with white coming out of the edges underneath, lace white, and very poofy and very intense, pomegranates, pink silk pomegranates, just very tasteful here and there. That's the adult women's dress, but maybe the kids have cheaper, lighter kind of synthetic material, and you go a different way than the adults. The kids have the color, so it's time for 1950s revival.
Yeah,
you give the kids all this light color, you give the adults something different going on,
and you give the grandparents the millennial deal.
Right, the what Z-Gen or I-Gen or whatever, and they're super. They're just everything that they don't mind.
But the parents are all like, well, we had to fight in the resource war, and it's your fault. So there's another ageism right there in itself,
Yeah, no shit. No shit. And the older folks would be more kind of bastards. They'd be jerks. They'd be jerks comparatively.
Comparatively. Yes.
Because we want a new golden era.
Yeah.
So it's going to take us a couple generations. But the youngest generation is the only generation in America that could ever actually pull off a decent 1950s.
Right.
And it would be a funny 1950s look if, like, Mary Sue was going to ask, I don't know, Bobby.
Yeah.
To the dance. But Bobby is a girl. So, and that's cool.
That's fine.
That's fine. And, what if the Vikkis were a little bit more jaded?
The Vikkis are a little bit
more jaded. So, what if, like, what is it? What if there's, like, a poly thing? Like Jamie and Bobby.
And Billy.
Right. So, like, Jamie and Billy. Or Mary and Bobby's a girl. Mary Sue and Bobby are thinking of asking out Billy. To be part of their little
relationship.
Yeah, it's like a big deal, and it's like a big emotional deal, and just as sensitive as anything normally could be, and maybe the Vikkis are kind of in some sort of messed up way, like, what do like you're like 15, 16, you know what I mean? Like you don't have a relationship, and then you have a mistress, or and you only do that
closed room, man.
You only do that when you're like 40, and that's
it's like, oh, gross. I don't want to have a mistress.
Yeah, mistress when I'm 40, or a secret. I want to call him Mister. I'm not sure what the.
Yeah, why keep secrets from the ones you love?
Yeah, and that's something that you could have fun discussing in an episode, and why be? You're looking at me like I'm not right for wanting to have a poly relationship, whereas the previous generation maybe got good with gay relationships that became okay, and what do they call it? Interracial relationships. That's been cool long enough where I can't even remember how to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this big deal where Jamie and Bobby are. That's a good episode.
Right. Just show them hold hands in the hallway. You don't even have to go further into their sexual whatever.
Right, and the kids aren't even interested. The kids aren't interested in that. It's more about the emotional, and it's more about the facial expressions. And the poly relationships are it's like the new gay. There's a lot of LGBTQ community. The couples that look down on the poly thing as if that's a problem. You know. So you can kind of drag that out. Yeah, it's a generation farther down the line than it probably would be, but troubles, resource wars, America going down. That kind of messes with things. That changes society a bit.
It does.
And I'm kind of thinking everybody outside the community is a little bit of a scavenger. And you got to look out for scavengers.
That's definitely at least an episode. Somebody trying to come through and even seems nice, but they're really going to try and rob the town blind. Type of deal.
Yeah. And everybody's not only nice, but they communicate.
Yeah.
They communicate with each other. They have, town chat.
Chirp.
Yeah, they have, Boost Mobile for the town, and it just runs out of their one tower.
Yeah, they don't even have proper internet. They just have the town internet. Same with channels, like TV channels.
Oh yeah. Well, there's Plato's thing where Plato, I think, was in the Republic.
Okay.
Said that death to all the poets, or some equivalent thereof, because not everything that you see on TV is uplifting to the soul. Not everything that you read is a good story that tells a good message that improves society. And unless death to the artists, he didn't like artists, he didn't like poets, he didn't like storytellers, because there's a lot of really bad messages out there. Yeah. There's a lot of movies where you watch it and people make bad decisions, and it ends up being part of your programming, which is a bad thing. So
local TV,
the local town channels are pleasant.
Yeah, they're pleasant, and
they're nice. They're not something Plato's going to argue with.
Right. there might be an NPR for that type of taste. There's cartoons,
right? And it's weirdly so.
kids.
Weirdly so. Like if you're like a guest or whatever, you go to state. So like let's say a guy who's it's just like he's got a motorcycle, and that's not very pleasant. The motorcycle.
It's gonna be on one of the channels going, not very pleasant.
If anybody could offer their assistance to the gentleman, perhaps he would like us to refit his motorcycle with a nice, quiet muffler. A muffler that in fact, maybe we could give him an electric one or hydrogen powered, something that'll last and just be more pleasant.
Can we call Jim the mechanic and see what he might be able to think of?
and then their equivalent of Twitter or Boost Mobile or whatever like explodes.
Right. I'm on my way down there right now with the new engine. Does anybody have a muffler for the 226 XP, you know?
Yeah, I'm pretty one. Yeah, somebody's outside. No, he's got this motorcycle. I'm looking at it, you know, and it's...
It won't fit that, but and somebody else is like, oh, but it'll fit this, which I have all ready to go. Unfortunately, Jim, your engine will be another 3 hours.
By the time the guys wakes up, they've got it all worked out.
Exactly.
It's like this big, like, it's like when the town comes and brings you like a bunch of apple pies or some shit like that.
Yeah.
In the 1950s, you know.
They just took his motorcycle and made it whatever they felt it
No.
should be.
They're just like a group of them is standing there, and they've got like all the stuff ready to go. And like the dude saw the news report, and he knows this whole thing is just about the fact that his motorcycle like echoes off the walls.
And if he's gonna stay, he's gonna have to do something about it.
And yeah, they've got questions.
Right. Yeah, they always have questions about the outside world.
Yeah.
And it's kind of freaky that way. It's like, well, what do you mean you don't know about whatever?
Yeah, because they've cut themselves off.
Yeah, because they've totally cut
and it just
themselves off.
happens that that's maybe as you go,
Yeah.
you just slowly realize that these people are disconnected and have managed to take all of the best of Americana and turn it into this functional town that, I mean, I'm thinking probably whatever everybody walked in with, like the actual bills in their pocket and the change in their pockets, and like, you know,
it's still
like,
traveling.
yeah,
around
like
and
it's
being
still
circulated.
Right. Like all the money's like 30 years old at this point.
And still in circulation. Like what?
Right.
Yeah, that's a good one.
They should know what everybody knows what the outside world is like. But as far as the, whatever the news
Who's
was,
the new president? I'm
Yeah.
not really sure. When was the election? I didn't go.
you can throw in a bunch of weird lines. Yeah, right. You throw in a bunch of weird lines from The Postman, the Kevin Costner movie. You know, like, I watched the White House burn to the ground. Like all very seriously.
Right.
It's a good black and white moment for some dude with a mustache. He's stroking his beard, and some young kid says, hey, whatever happened to the White House? I watched the White House burn to the ground. Just goes back to talking this Vicky conversation. That's kind of an ageism thing to do to somebody. Just the kid was just like, what? Just I'm trying to ask about the world and history and crap you know about. I live in this tiny town. What?
I was going to say maybe the Vikkis didn't have, like, sports because they were too busy at war and resources. And the new generation, the kids' generation, learned from the grandparents about sports.
Right, so they want... Yeah, because it, like, once again, it's like revivalist 50s time. So you have this weirdo group, but then the next generation is like, no, we're rocking out because the streets look Norman Rockwell, and the town looks like Grosse Pointe Blank on a good day, So the town would have a 50s vibe, and the kids would wear lighter, cheaper clothing, and if the adults were dark and metal. And expensive silks, the kids would be, 1950. It'd be a great time. It just matches. It just works. I like the yellows. I like the red. The yellow skirts.
The red cherry red.
Yeah, the cherry red things.
Or lipstick red, or however you want to say it.
Sure. Stiletto heels that are baby blue and have a plastic look to it, but it's leather or whatever, like cool stuff.
Work skirts for the first time.
Everybody's got the kind of clothing that, like, they just would want to have. You
know?
And then every once in a while you throw in some rando come through town, and they've got to fit in or not.
Yeah.
And
sometimes they look like they came out of Mad Max. Other times,
like outside the world's. It's like Mad Max. It's like Mad Max, and then you drift into this perfect town. That's. I feel like that's where we should have started. All right, so 40 minutes ago, it's Mad Max. And it's all dark and dusty, and then you driving down this lonely road. You get to this
town that says Pleasantville. No one ever leaves, and you're like, you being from a Mad Max world would be like, I shouldn't go there, but maybe like I have to. I'm starving, or I need gas.
You're already driving through fields of food.
Right.
You roll down the window and you could smell the basil and the lavender in the air and the whatever crops are growing next to you, and
for some reason there's red and green corn.
Yeah, that's back in the I can't remember what it was, but they used to do this thing where the whole town would get together and the hoedown or whatever for town, and all the kids would shuck corn. And it was like once a month thing or festival.
Just a festival thing. Probably once a year.
Probably during spring.
The Harvest Fest or something.
Well, I was thinking spring, the time where all the birds and the bees come out. And, animals start doing it.
You chuck the harvest.
And but I guess it would be autumn. That is the harvest. So you get to the end of the harvest. And everybody peels the corn, and whoever gets, I think it's the red corn.
Yeah.
Whatever boy gets the red corn, or whatever girl gets the red corn, you give it to the person you like, and it's kind of like
you get to go for the dance at the hoedown later that night or whatever.
Yeah. And if you have the red corn, you get you ask the other person, and they're obliged
to
go with you because you have the special corn. It's like Easter Island and the finding of the egg.
Yeah, like it works.
Right. But this is in the future.
You're going to have a chance no matter what if you got the red.
Right, but we got to Monsanto it. And I don't mean Monsanto as in
but we got
a dark way. I mean like
in a nice good
nice
way.
Stepford Wives kind of way. So so the corn's big.
The corn's big. Right.
And there's blue corn. It's like maize. It's maize. It's not even corn, it's maize. Back to all natural Native American maize, but now it's been bred properly.
And it's bigger.
It's big, and then there's like purple corn and red corn and blue corn, and it's very colorful. Very, very Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, same with all of the fruits.
In fact, I like the idea of, and I was going to mention it earlier, I like the idea of taking the whole thing, filming it in black and white, and then going back over and Wizard of Oz painting in the cells, maybe with computers, but in the same way they did in Wizard of Oz, because it gave you those real interesting palette shifts between surfaces.
Yeah.
It gave you those very interesting contrasting pastels somehow just by essentially technicoloring black and white.
There should still be like cities, I guess, but as far as in between big cities, it should be Mad Max's.
Yeah, it should be just all Mad Max and Bad News Bears out there.
Yeah, except for, like, as I said, like, there should still be some cities.
Oh, but you don't even get into it.
Yeah.
It's Pleasantville.
Yeah.
Pleasantville is the focus, and everywhere else is not. And the only way you get that sort of transition is when people come into town. And maybe that's probably
the best way.
Yeah, it's almost like an episode, every other episode or something like that. Some episodes are in-house.
Some episodes, a lot of them should be in-house.
Yeah, and then every once in a while, every 2 or whatever episodes, there's the drifters, the couple in the Ford F-350 type truck that like was just made in 2022. 2021 model. Now it looks like all old and like it's like 30 years old. Some brand new car that was made like this year, but now we're gonna like age it up and so it's going to be impossibly old for
what it is.
for its model.
And I wanted to mention, since we're talking about cars,
Yeah.
Real quick, I was thinking they should have at tops something like 40 to 100 cars throughout town. They're all the exact same looking car. Oh no, never mind, because we had said that the kids.
Yeah, the kids. So that's hilarious. So if you that's exactly what's up. So only the kids have cars. Because if you remember what the Vikkis are like, they're big on bikes.
They're big on bikes. They're big on walking. They're big on electric scooters.
Yeah. The steampunk guys don't exactly favor traditional cars.
Yeah, they might favor electric skateboard.
You know what's good for this town is a trolley where everybody's pedaling. And they're all wearing top hats.
That's pretty good.
And it's not until the next generation where they're like, no, I want to print a car. And it's like, oh no, that's like, this is gonna require some trading or something like that. We've gotta. Maybe the town mostly just ships in, the feed from Neil Stephenson's Snow Crash, the Diamond Age, I believe.
Okay.
And then there's the seed technology, and then the feed technology. And the feed is basically a 3D printer that's a microwave, and it's got pipes that go into it, and the pipes just have like raw elements.
Yeah.
And then it just Replicator from Star Trek E.
And that's all that they know about the outside. They buy materials.
Yeah, they buy raw materials, but it's probably cheap, and they probably sell off their amazing corn, their maize.
Yeah, they sell off a lot of stuff at their problem.
I would think
some of their tech, you know what I mean?
I would think a cucumber, you buy a cucumber from them, it's like that thing is not a cucumber size. It's like 4 cucumbers.
Right? Or what are those new genetic plants we have going around?
Oh, there's a lot of hybrid plants.
Yeah,
hybrid plants are cool, man. A lot of them are really tasty looking.
There was a banana pomegranate looking one.
Yeah, there was the one tree that grew grapes, but grew them as if they were growing oranges or cherries or something like that. But they were like grapes, and they were like pectin grapes or something like that. Like they were essentially chewy candies.
Yeah,
like straight growing off the tree. There's so many amazing hybrids. So you do lots of hybrid crops.
Lots of hybrid crops.
Like very lime.
I have
limon.
My banana, orange, pineapple smoothie, and all I had to do was grab the one fruit and turn it into a drink.
Huge crops. So it's Willy Wonka-ish. So I like that. So not only is it Pleasantville the movie, and not only does it have like this, you try to get in some sort of weird
Stepford Wives
vibe going on, and it's just like, I think during watching an episode, you would just be constantly waiting for the Stepford Wives.
You're waiting for the
twist
the postal or something.
Yeah,
that's another one that you should expect. Where's somebody gonna snap? You know what I mean?
Oh, that could be a thing too. They ask about the guns thing, and like, the kids, they don't have guns, but like the adults, they have all these very ornate rifles with all this scrimshaw work in the
and they know how to use them from the resource wars.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's why they've taken their weapons from the resource wars and like scrimshawed them up. And rather than having names like Jebediah and things like that, which the Amish normally have, you give them the kind of names that people right now would name their kids. And so, what names are those? Well, that's Bella.
Bella, yeah,
right. And Bella's a little bit dated, but yeah, movie names. Stark.
Yeah.
First name Stark, middle name Tony. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all the Vikkis. They've got all these names from dated movies.
Or actors.
Right, but they're movies that are coming out right now.
Total Recall.
No, that's too dated, man.
Yeah.
More like what's Star Wars movies like Kylo.
Kylo, yeah.
Kylo's one of them. That's a bad one, but it is one. Rhea. There's a lot of Rheas.
A lot of Reyes. Creed, I guess.
Creed's not a bad one.
Yeah, but Creed's new. It just came out.
Yeah, so those are the adults. So you just kind of give her all the adults. Movie names.
PETA.
Even if PETA. That's not bad.
Katniss, Ender.
Katniss is a little bit dated, but
So it's.
I think Katniss would work. I think that's not a bad one. It's not too dated. Anyway, and then maybe the younger kids. Maybe the adults give them names, but then like the steampunk guys give the young kids names, but then they shorten them and turn them into nicknames. But the younger kids don't like to have nicknames. They want to be called by their full
name. Don't call me Jimmy or Billy or
right. My name is James.
Yes.
You know they'll accept
William.
They'll accept Willie at home.
Yeah, at home they'll accept nicknames, but outside, no.
Yeah, their friends don't call them. My friends call me Steven.
Yes.
You know, my dad calls me Stevie, you know. Scarlett Johansson. I was trying to think, what's Black Widow's name? And I was like, Natasha, Natalia. And I was like, no, so they'd be more likely to name their kid Scarlett. Thor, or Thorvald. Overly Thorish name, or... What are the two Hemsworths called?
Liam and...
Yeah, Liam, there you go. There's a name somebody right now as a kid. If I was black, I think Keaton would be at the top of my list right now.
Nice.
You were mentioning that you like the... Keegan? Why Keegan
Michael?
Oh, yeah. Hey, he's from Detroit.
Right?
You mentioned the beds thing. You like the beds?
I like that the beds were separate.
Because the next generation's always, like, better than the previous. So, yeah, like with the mistress thing, like, that does not happen. You have an open relationship that's completely fair. You don't hide somebody. How creepy is that? That's not treating somebody, like a human being.
You don't fight over resources if you have...
Oh God, I was talking about relationships in a
I know,
person.
but like as far as the town goes.
Oh yeah, okay, you were switching there. That got weird for a second.
Everything is nice and everything is cool. Why? My point was like they're not gonna fight like their parents did over resources because they have a 3D printer.
Yeah. Like a little bit of a different society we got working out here.
Yeah.
And I like that the kids might be... The show is not interested in the kids having sex.
Right.
The show is interested in expressions, in emotions, in the delicacies of human interactions.
Emotions.
The Vikkis are cool because they're good at being polite. They're being good at polite, and yeah...
They're good at making weird things.
But I like the generational interaction by having them as Vikkis and by having the younger kids, more open, more interesting relationships. Yes. I like the more interesting, but the Vikkis, I've got a what's that horrible wannabe book, the not BDSM, but the book that all the BDSM community hates.
Yes.
50 Shades of Grey.
Grey.
Right. So. I was saying like it's fine. I have a 50 Shades of Grey basement, but BDSM basement.
But everything else.
But we don't talk about that. My house looks very nice and polite, and that's my own private thing. And I'm not embarrassed about it. That's who I am. But that's private. Because that's what the Vikkis are like.
Yeah.
And maybe it had something to do with Facebook. They were the generation before put their whole lives online, and it all ended up in the hands of Chinese gangsters.
Right.
With facial recognition software. Thank you very much, Facebook. Now you can't go shopping without them having the inside of your eyeball all ready to go in Thailand, ready to advertise to you, and steal your ID.
Why do you think we have a closed network?
Yeah. And you know what? So it's cool to have this show where you can kind of more discuss relationship things in a more open way.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, you push it forward 2 generations where these sorts of things have probably been more dealt with, but we're dealing with them now in the context of this future-ish show that's also somehow set in the past. And that brings me back to what I was just about to say, which is Archie or
Riverdale. Riverdale went way too far with the sex, and all of it was bad. All of it was bad. The whole thing with Riverdale, it was way too sexual, and we don't need to do that. And Archie originally wasn't sexual, so why would they do that?
Yeah, that was insane.
That was insane. And our point is not to do that,
right?
And show Archie-esque.
Yeah, Archie took place in the golden era. Archie took place at George Lucas with American Graffiti times, and actually that's kind of brings us back to Paul Walker,
Right.
the modern American Graffiti guy. You know, that could be a thing that the kids like to do. They like to do a lap around town in their new cars.
In their new cars, Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, it's like this Indy 5 NASCAR track because it's just kind of circular.
Yeah, the around town.
Yeah.
The roundabout.
Right, you just stay off of Main Street where all the bikes are at.
Yeah.
And yeah, they all have like, real standard names, And then the cross streets have like stupid English names. Vicky style. Brighton. Nottingham. Berkshire. Oh no, we already had a B.
The
Avalon.
Nice. The farmer with a really nicely bred horse that he uses for work or whatever.
Oh, those Vickies are at some point gonna, the horse is gonna get to enjoy his moment of pageantry, as horses are wont to do. And braided Wizard of Oz braid in its hair, all kinds of different colors, and that'll happen because it's cool.
And so I was thinking,
the whole show's an excuse for cool stuff.
And I was thinking it's a transfer of, it was a work horse or a race horse, and now it's little Debbie's horse. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's the new yeah.
Dad, when you're talking about me to other people, please refer to me as Deborah.
Right. I love the horse, though.
I love my pony, though. Thank you, Daddy.
Right, exactly.
And speaking of Archie, the whole show could revolve around like some sort of Leave It to Beaver-esque Archie guy, and then like in Pleasantville, there was what was his name? Billy, Bobby, something like that. Bud, and then Reese Witherspoon was playing
Mary Sue.
Rock out.
Very, very 50s names.
Right, or whatever Leave It to Beaver's name is. That might be a good one. Bring that name back. Middle name Archibald or something like that.
Archibald. I was thinking of Clarence.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure what the Neo-Vikkis would name their kids. But stuff that sounds 50s or stuff that can retroactively, maybe stuff that has good nicknames, but can retroactively sound like 50s names.
Yeah. Respectable names that their parents made into disrespectable names. So,
right. Right, some guys, my middle name's Ultron. Yeah. Although, what was that name that we heard the other day? All Dark the Necro Sword?
Yes.
That's not a bad middle name. Kid's first name is All Dark.
The Necro Sword. Well, I don't know if I want to play with you or if I must play with you.
Right, and he's the nicest guy. Except he's very tall and ominous as an adult.
Yeah.
But he's super nice, just unknown. Hey, how's it going, All Dark?
So sports are a big deal again.
Mr. Sword. Maybe his name could be Mr. Sword. Oh, and what?
Sports are a big deal again.
Yeah, football. So it's not that the Vickies have any interest in American football. Or even European football.
Or soccer.
So rugby. But these are sports that are on their girls lacrosse. No, girls field hockey.
Yeah.
Lacrosse. These are sports that are coming back. That the
other generation.
Yeah, that the grandparents are kind of teaching the youngest folk. You know, because the grandparents have a clue of what the 50s were like.
Right.
The grandparents know traditional Americana, and this new gen is a traditional Americana gen, and their parents are like some sort of throwback. They're like the all of American history got up to these guys, and then they kind of went backwards to some sort of weird pilgrimage sort of mode.
Yeah. Yeah,
but they're
like,
fun to play with that way because they look good in their top hats. They look good in their fine dresses. They look good in black and white.
Yeah.
And then they look good to contrast the 50s styles with. And the pink malt strawberry milkshake.
Right.
You know, versus some dudes that look like they're drinking, I'm not going to say mint julep because that's traditionally a racist drink, but
green tea.
Green tea. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. And that's what, green tea with a sprig of mint in it, or sage, or whatever the hell is refreshing. I don't know.
It's mint. You turn
lemon.
Tea, you put turn into mint tea.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, like just a real across the board, lots of different types of people group. Don't pigeonhole anybody.
Very refined,
very polite, and then the kids are just kind of open.
Yeah. Open, fun.
Yeah. And lots of them
have more going on for them.
Right, they're a fun generation.
Yeah.
They're a fun generation, whereas the other guys set up everything to be cool and nice.
Yes.
So I like the Archie thing, that you have like some sort of Archie guy, and that he's a rebel. Maybe.
Yes.
He
should be a rebel. At least as far as the Vikkis are concerned.
I think like he gets there's hijinks.
Yeah.
And like he's so blasé, maybe, or
you just wouldn't expect it from him.
Maybe that's what's up. That's exactly what's up. He's the Leave It to Beaver type.
Yeah.
And then like maybe at the end of your first episode, he's the one that did the oh no, it's the crime of the century. Toilet paper over the McGaffrey's tree or whatever the hell.
I was thinking shaving the mustaches. Like that's the biggest crime.
Maybe nobody's seen Mr. Jones for a few days. It's like become a big thing in the news. Where's Mr. Jones? Nobody's seen Mr. Jones. Mrs. Jones won't show Mr. Jones at the door. And it's because
he's regrowing his mustache.
Yeah. Archie snuck into the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And in protest over the student body council, the student council. You know how
the student council should
be the school board.
Yeah, the way they do in Japan.
Right. Because that's nicer.
Yeah.
And it's a better way to run it. So like the student board actually has some clout to it. So like the student body president or whatever is like the president of the school board. So you have all these kids. One of them's got the gavel. And you got the dad in the audience. If you pound that gavel
one more time, hey,
you're grounded. If you approve this measure, if you bring this measure to a vote, I'm grounding you. Do you understand me, Davey? Father, my name is David. And look at him in the eye real slow.
Bringing the gavel down.
That's it. You're grounded. He starts getting booed. That's ageism, Don't do that. Come on, that's not fair. That is not how you run a town hall meeting, And the kid's just looking at him and does it again.
It should be like a thing where it's like, you can't ground me for doing my public duty.
It's not very nice, is it? Ooh. It's not very pleasant, is it, Father? Ooh, that doesn't sound pleasant. Ooh, those are bad. That's the worst thing.
Right?
The worst thing you could say. Yeah, so go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say maybe in the Vikkis age, they didn't have Santa Claus. Somehow it died out with Toys R Us or something.
Yeah, everybody was too broke. Every Christmas. And you couldn't even really do this sort of Santa Claus thing. And you couldn't play up Santa Claus the way the previous generations
right,
did.
But the grandparents knew about it.
Right.
And so, like, I guess, like...
The toy store.
The toy store, yeah, would have, I guess, an older type of guy.
Right.
And his name is actually, like, Sinter.
Mr. Sinter.
Mr. Sinter. There we go.
Mr. Sinter, and it sounds sinister.
It sounds sinister, but it's not. And he runs...
Sinter Klaus. Yeah.
And he actually has a naughty and nice list.
Right outside the door, you can actually, like, write somebody's name on it. On the naughties, and like, why.
And why,
and then it's like a big, you know, like, people walk, oh, they're on the naughty, and like that's like a big deal. That's a big deal in town. You gotta take care of that. You gotta, you know, it might be a misunderstanding, but it might be an actual thing.
And they can, like, write you off after that.
Yeah.
And maybe it should be the thing where, like, the owner has to write you off, because otherwise it's going to be a public dispute.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, some jerk. Right. Give me a name out of Avengers. Thanos. This Mr. Thanos.
Mr. Thanos has a problem with Mr. Strange. Or Mr. Norrell.
Those are just the names we like.
I know, I'm just...
but yeah, Mr.
Stark.
Yeah. Anyway, Mr. Stark, he's on the naughty list, and it's for wearing pajamas all day long. And, like, people taking pictures of this, and, you know...
Yeah.
And then, like, somebody comes up and he's like, That's not something part of the naughty list.
Right, that's not cool.
Yeah. That's really you're really getting down on somebody, you know, and it's like, oh, well, we all dress nice, we all put effort into it, and it's like, well, and then the guy comes walking by and he sees it and he's like, dude, like, all my clothes, the machine ate them, and, like, they're, you know, and I ate some crabfish and my whole body swelled up, and I wear, like, different size clothes now, or whatever the hell, you know, I got fatter, I got skinnier, whatever. None of my stuff fits, and, you know, I need some new clothes, and I'm working on it, and that's not, you know, a guy, like, starts getting really upset.
Right.
And so the owner comes out, Mr. Sinter, and he crosses out the dude, and who was just walking his dog, wearing sweatpants again.
Right.
And writes down the other guy's name. It was for being mean to Mr. Thanos Stark.
Right. Yeah, and, like...
And so now that guy's on the naughty list, and, like, you know, now he's got to make it up.
Yeah, and it should be that Mr. Klaus, or Mr. Sinter, and Mrs. Sinter break the dispute.
Right.
They're the ref.
Yeah, because Mr. Sinter, you know, Santa's the one who decides who goes on the naughty and who goes on the nice.
Nice, yeah.
Just the way, like, Vicky people rock, steampunk people rock out certain looks, man. This guy's rocking out some sort of question mark, are you actually freaking Santa Claus look?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
And if you ask him about it, man, he's got all kinds of ways of making you...
making you believe.
Do you think I'm Santa Claus? Well, why don't you think I'm Santa Claus?
He has a sleigh. It does fly.
And that's another point.
Because it's, you know, the future.
That's another point. During the Harvest Festival, dude, the Vikkis would totally grow a pumpkin the size of a carriage.
Yeah, right.
That totally can fit, I don't know, the prom queen or something like that.
The Harvest Queen?
The Harvest Queen or something like that, you know, in her pumpkin carriage. And it's a thing every year.
It's a Snow White type of deal.
Yeah, every year making the pumpkin carriage. Oh, it's a different gourd this time.
Yeah, every year they have to make the biggest pumpkin into the wagon.
Yeah, so it's the crime of so the newcomer comes to town, and maybe it's a couple.
Yeah.
You know, I like the motorcycle thing. I like the fixing the motorcycle.
But maybe that's for a different...
No, actually, that's not bad. You could do it twice in one episode.
Okay.
Or even, I like the idea of there being somebody who can talk to people on the outside of town. Like
somebody who, like, commutes or something.
Yeah, so maybe that's the motorcycle guy.
Okay.
This guy who, you know, the thing where you'll never leave?
Yeah.
So the jerk on the motorcycle
actually ends up never leaving.
Right. It's almost like the new cop who comes to town or something like that. And maybe he's the motorcycle guy.
But he gets it fixed.
And everybody else had an idea of how to fix his motorcycle, but like he knows how to do motorcycle. And that's maybe that's valuable to the kids. And the kids convince the adults that he should be around. And maybe he's not quite as old as the adults, but not quite as young as the kids.
Yeah, and he's gonna help them with cars and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's the deal. He's like the only actual car mechanic guy because these other dudes,
they deal with electric scooters and skateboards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, longboards, electric powered longboards.
A couple of them might even still use the new pogo sticks.
A dude in a top hat on an electric longboard. A lady in a dress in some fine 1600s dress on a pogo stick.
Right.
With bright pink hair.
And like really good pogo sticking too.
Right. Her name is Tonks. Her name is Tonks. Nymphodora Tonks. I mean, not really, but like, pick one of the two.
Yeah. You know there's going to be a Dumbledore and a McGonagall in there.
Or just like somebody whose middle name is Potter, or what's Slytherin, what's the Malfoy? Draco?
Draco.
There's a Draco.
There's definitely a Draco.
There's definitely a Draco. We had to go through McGonagall and a few, but yeah, there's a Draco.
There's a Draco. Yeah, and the Vikkies, like a lot of them have like ominous sounding names just because they're from the pop culture reference.
Right, they're from like right now.
You're right.
All Dark the Necro Sword. Sorry, Venom just came out. That's what's up. Some Lord of the Rings fan has a middle name,
which is why they name their kids normal names.
Right. Right, they hated ultimately they all got sick of, and their grandparents' names are like Sage and like a few normal names mixed in there.
Right.
But they're not quite as bad as Mary Sue.
Right. There might be an actual Grandpa Spike.
Spike?
Yeah.
Oh, like from Rugrats?
Well,
Dog from Rugrats? Dude, played by Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis played a dog on Rugrats for years and years and years.
It was his favorite role.
His favorite role. Sweet. You're John McClane. Yeah. And then he's like thinking about the good old days when he was a dog for 10 years. Off topic. Oh, the Archie thing. So the lady with the pink hair, was sticking. So she disappears from town at some point, and it's because her hair was dyed brown
instead of
the pink.
Part of the crimes of the century, was her getting her hair dyed.
Right. So she disappeared from town, and everybody's blaming it on the newcomers.
The newcomers, and it's totally not.
It's totally not. You don't find out till the very end of the episode, but you just see like. I'm going to just call him Archie. You see Archie's face in the light. Like Leonardo DiCaprio on the beach.
Right.
When he like came up out of the darkness and then like ate a caterpillar that disappeared back into the darkness. Yeah, just like that, except it's Archie.
Or when he was stealing.
And he's got scissors. He's got scissors in his hand, like real like Edward Scissorhands scissors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like I was going to say like in the beach where he's in the hut. They're at the drug dealer's actual hut, and he steals their gun.
Okay.
And is playing around with it and walking around in their hut.
Yeah, you can see that in the shadows, right? And then in this person's house, and then like the dude just is missing, and like you see his gun earlier, and he was showing it off, and so you see he's sleeping, the wife is sleeping. And the bright orange hair lady with the white around the edges, some crazy Lilu-esque hairdo.
And it shows him like creeping around.
Yeah, he's walking around the house like a soldier with a gun, with this incredibly ornate. What are they called in Looper?
The blunderbuss.
Yeah. It's like this real 4-barrel blunderbuss futuristic thing. That's got like handcrafted wood,
right?
And somehow a flintlock, but like it totally, like that's its reload mechanism, or it's like selector from safety to fully automatic.
Right?
Thing's a fully automatic blunderbuss. You just put whatever inside of it, it'll laser fire it
and shoot it out.
Yeah, it's like a railgun. It's a 4-barrel railgun blunderbuss. As long as it's metal, it'll come flying out of there at like half the speed of light.
Real good with potatoes too.
Yeah, well, you gotta put a piece of silverware in the potato.
Right.
Maybe you put on a different barrel for it. One thick one.
For the kids. But yeah, the kid with the blunderbuss, and he's walking around the house.
For some reason, I got this image of an old man who's like a millennial or like Gen Z or iGen or whatever, iBoy,
iGen.
Some iBoy dude, and he's talking to one of these like Neo-50 guys. He's talking to Archie, and he's explaining what football is and how it's actually just like World War I over again, And he keeps using those references. He's explaining American football. Sorry. And when you throw the ball, that's a mortar, and you throw it to it's a long bomb. They call it when everybody lines up like you do in the trenches.
Yeah.
And when you get your soldiers past the other line's trenches and into their end zone, that's their capital city. And then the game resets, because the new capital it's always halfway.
Yeah.
The border between the two controlling factions of the two different capitals, their territory extends halfway, and so that's why it's always on the 50-yard line. Right, halfway between the two capitals. And he's explaining all this, and he gets most of the way through it, and the kid's like, so what's World War I? What's a trench?
And now
what's a mortar?
Yeah, now Grandpa has to go through a lot of
things. Grandpa's just like, oh God. And the kid's like, I understand World War III. It was just a bunch of nukes that were thrown around like a century ago. And like there was no open war, but like there was all these assassins and stuff, right? That was World War III, and he's like, that's the Cold War. But yeah, that's yeah. Wait, what were we saying? Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say the grandpa should, or at least one of the grandpas should be a hacker. Total no computers.
Right.
And he should be talking to the kids like, back in my day, the internet was this and that, and we had the dark web, and kids should just get horrified. Absolutely horrified. And I am so glad of the internet we have today. You know what I mean?
Meaning like the town's essentially library.
Right.
Some Encyclopedia Galactica downloaded, and then just like in their local net. It's like way safer.
Way safer, way nicer.
Yeah, where everything's nice. Oh, and the motorcycle guy, smuggler.
Yes, the motorcycle guy.
If he's willing to go in and out of town, then the Vikkis would see him as this
smuggler.
They would call him the smuggler.
Right.
And there's no way he's the smuggler. He's like a legitimate
trader.
So, and maybe he's not an all-around car guy, or
whatever.
Maybe he is.
But he'll bring in things that you don't normally see in town. Coca-Cola or something, you know what I mean?
Right. Mint tea Kit Kats.
Right.
Meji candy. Oh boy. Those Vikkis are going to like some Meji candy.
You're right. And same with the kids in town. They all want the whatever candy for their malts and their ice cream.
I also want to see a not just the motorcycle guy come through town, get stuck there. But I want to see a couple in the truck come through
and get stuck there.
And get stuck there.
And some people work out and some people don't.
Yeah, I kind of feel like maybe there's somebody that shouldn't work out. I know you mentioned at one point the circus coming through town.
Yeah, the circus coming through town. I don't think that's that great anymore. I mean, it could be done.
I do kind of think it's a good idea because I think these guys would pay for the circus to come through town and come the first night and not actually pay in dollars, but maybe
pay in trade or something.
Right. They work out ahead of time, the trader guy.
Yeah.
He's like, look, you can come into town, but you got to know that
This town's weird.
and sign, it's not. Yeah, and they're like, yeah, what's up with the sign? Are we gonna be murdered?
It's like, no, you'll be fine.
You'll be fine. These people are nice.
Only a murderer would say that.
You know? Are you the murderer?
Are you the one leading me to my death?
Yeah.
Are you the death recruiter?
And he's gonna be like, yeah, no. Well, first thing you gotta understand is these people really don't have any cash. Like they don't have like the money they have. Like I'm not gonna let you leave town with their
money.
Right. And the guy's looking around, and there's crops that that are
they're like, we'll take the food.
Yeah, well, we can start with the food.
Right.
And the guy's like, yeah, I thought you'd say that. And guess what? The food's not a problem. And
food's not a problem.
Your animals, the animals. And he's like, but you got to know that. So he maybe ends up working out a payment plan where like they pay him in like I don't know silver bricks or something like that.
Yeah. That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Like,
or just the food itself, honestly.
Right. So
food and like weird.
So infinite food while he's there. They'll if you ask anybody, they will actually help you repair
anything that you need repairing.
Right. Just think of them as Amish.
Yeah, think of them as Amish, and that's how they have to explain. The smuggler guy has to explain to people how this town is.
Right.
And so they get the circus in the town.
And so it should be a funny thing where they're all in the line to get into the circus tent, and the smuggler guy has this, or like the mayor has this basket, and as people walk up to the tent, he's handing them the silver bricks, and then they just like walk like 2-3 steps forward and hand them over to the circus people.
Right.
And it's the weirdest thing they've ever seen.
And that's just how
that's how they're gonna pay for this circus. And they all pay the first day, but then day 2, day 3, nobody comes back. And he's like, all right, well, I guess we should leave. And they're like, oh no, you're still getting paid. And like the money keeps coming in.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not silver bricks on day 2. Maybe it's something else they need. New carriages. And they make them all this nice shit,
But please keep on. Stay.
And then finally, it's like, why are they not coming? Why are they paying me and not coming? And then they start to pack up their new fancy. We appreciate the fancy new carriages, and we appreciate the dresses and the scrimshaw. When they pulled up, they were pretty much starving.
Yeah.
It's Dust Bowl era looking. It's Carnival.
Yeah, Carnival.
Great show. And these guys are the new Carnival.
And they're just circus performers barely making it by.
Right. They've got some new stuff. They've got a liger. And
cool new stuff. Maybe new magic or something.
Yeah, new magic. It's actually coming out of some tech boy with a couple implants. Tech boy and tech girl somehow.
Yeah, some flying stuff.
Yeah, some really scrawny person with like impossible strength. A couple genetic engineering things going on there, maybe.
Yeah.
A few illegal genetic engineering things going on. And maybe the town's not down with this whole circus thing. And,
right.
And frankly, neither is the circus, but they're just trying to make it, and they're trying to do all right while they're there, And then they start to feel weird and feel uncomfortable because nobody's showing up. And then right before they leave, they wake up, they get all their stuff packed, and the mayor, the whole town walks up, and they're like, oh, no, you have to come over here and take a look. And they've built like this whole zoo,
wild preserve
for all the animals, and
they've got houses.
Yeah, they've started on houses for everybody. The circus people are like, what job are we gonna have if you take all our animals and put, how are we gonna? Well, we're gonna need somebody to manage the animals.
Right.
We're gonna need somebody to find more animals. We're gonna need.
We want more animals.
Yeah, and it's like, well, how many hours a week do you expect me to do that? And they're all like, I don't know, 20.
Right.
What do you mean 20? Well, there's not a lot happening here, and nobody really expects you to work too hard, or that's stressful. That's not very pleasant, is it?
Right.
No. And the circus folk are just like blown away by this. well, how much are you paying us? And they're like, whatever you need. I don't know.
Yeah. We don't care about it. When you live here, you'll realize you just get paid whatever you need.
Yeah. Well, how am I going to get, carrot cake? Betsy
Makes the greatest carrot
Bella,
cake.
rather.
Yeah, makes the greatest carrot cake in town.
And she'll make you some.
And she'll make, yeah.
And she's like, what, is that okay, Bella? Oh, no, yeah, that's fine, that's fine. I can only make this amount for whatever, I'm already making some. But,
right.
Will that do? And, anybody like, I don't know, some other kind of lemon cake? George over there makes lemon bars, kind of work it out this way.
Yeah, everyone has their own specialty.
Do you just want the lemon? Do you just want the stuff for the lemon? Yeah.
Recipes, nobody trades recipes. Because it's like their thing.
Yeah, unless it gets annoying.
Yeah. Potluck type of deal. Everyone has a potluck. Everyone competes for potlucks or whatever.
Definitely. Just like the motorcycle thing.
Yeah, and it's kind of like one of the only things that people get like kind of snooty and
competitive
about.
In a lot of primitive societies and a lot of, classically defined primitive societies, not that I'm saying they're primitive, but a lot of small villages and tribes that have very older ways of living, there's at least one, if not multiple days a year, where you make sure you go around and you give gifts. And it's not really important. The receiving isn't important. It's the same thing as Christmas, but it's more like Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You just make sure that you keep giving gifts. I've heard of days in Papua New Guinea where you have to go around and give little bread loaves.
Okay.
And it's just all about making, and people end up regifting the same bread loaf.
Yeah.
And just everybody
tries.
Yeah, everybody puts some effort into it. It's just considered a polite thing to do and impolite to not participate. It would be nice to have this whole Pleasantville town that's all built on niceness and participating, and you're like, all right, where's the axe murderer? And the motorcycle guys, like, all right, I'm gonna get fucking killed by these people. Pardon my language.
Yeah, swear jar.
Yeah, for the muffler thing, clearly, and when the loudness of the muffler gets mentioned, everybody gets real quiet and serious and angry looking.
Right. Like he shouldn't have come through town in the first place with that.
Right, it's like walking through Tokyo with like a bullhorn going, I'm the greatest! And all you sniveling shits can die without me. Ha 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 ha.
By the end of the day,
they'll have killed you.
And eaten you.
Just to take your power.
It's a great one.
So anyway, yeah, and I like this thing where there's newcomers in town, and then there's crimes happening. But you can even do
the crimes that are happening are so minuscule.
Right.
Like out in the Badlands, what you did was nothing.
And when you come into the town,
you mean to tell me that the little kids don't have knives and know how to use them? This is awesome.
This is wonderful. Yeah, it's too good to be true. That's what it is. Every episode, you feel like this is too good to be true. And then they're all concerned about, the crime of the century, and it turns out to be this Archie. He's dyed people's hair.
And shaving mustaches.
Shaving off mustaches. Nobody's actually disappeared. He's mad because, he didn't get enough backup during the student council meeting, or just nobody pays attention to him. He's too average.
He's too average.
This David of the student council thing, that was a different guy. That's your Paul Walker kid.
Right.
Your captain of the basketball team.
Just the perfect one.
Right.
Yeah.
The one that knows the rules of old American football the best.
And the other guy's just the average.
Right. And it's, what's the Michael Cera movie where he goes crazy and develops like a
second personality?
Right, one's good and one's totally evil.
It's a lot like the one with Jim Carrey, but
yeah, not fun with Dick and Jane, not Liar Liar, but yeah, he also has
Me, Myself, and Irene.
Nice. Right, so maybe Archie goes kind of a little bit me, myself, and Irene, and when you see it on camera, it looks like Leonardo DiCaprio in the beach, creeping in and out of the darkness. It looks like, some home intruder who's marching around your house with your own weaponry. He's gonna murder you with it, and then that person disappears. For a couple days.
And then it just turns out that he just was messing around in the dude's house.
When the lady with the pink hair and the pogo stick, when she wakes up in the middle of the night, she scratches her head. She's like, oh, why's my hand sticky? And she thinks it's blood or something like that. You see her turn on the light and it's brown, and then it's like maybe this poop thing or something like that.
Yeah,
but then you look over to the side of the nightstand and there's the hair dye kit.
Okay.
And she looks at it, she goes, brown? And it says mouse brown on it.
Mouse brown.
It's the worst the worst hair dye color she could possibly imagine.
She goes to the police.
The mirror. She goes to the mirror and just starts screaming to bloody murder. It's on her hands and it's in her hair and it says permanent dye or something like that. Permanent dye, and the camera zooms in on mouse brown. She goes back to it. She goes back to the mouse brown. It says permanent this time. She sees maybe it wasn't even there the first time.
But now it is.
Now it says permanent, on the box, and she just starts screaming, And she looks down at her husband, and he's got this weird 1950s haircut, this horrible flat top, and his mustache has been shaved in the 80s when they would shave people's hair in 3 lines off to the side. He's just got this terrible... It's destroyed his mustache. He's got these Will Smith triple slashes in his mustache. Yeah, his mustache has been totally,
destroyed.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of horrible adjectives for it.
The wife is all upset. He's all upset.
Yeah. And she goes in to grab her pink hair dye, and there's just more mouse brown inside of it.
Inside of it, he replaced it all. They should go to the police or whatever. And that's how it becomes, known that there's the crime of the century or whatever.
All Mr. Jones or whatever. All Black the Necro Sword. Yeah, all Mr. Sword's black suits have all been replaced by these horrible white for some reason. With white ties. Now he really looks evil. He's got the all white suit.
But your police should look like constables.
The police should look like constables. Very nice. Well, bobbies with the bobby cap.
Yeah, a little bit more friendly.
Yeah, no gun, but the nightstick that's on the...
At this point, it's kind of a taser stick, I guess.
Yeah, maybe so.
Because it's the future.
It's a 6 stick from the Tom Cruise movie.
Okay, yeah.
Where oh gosh, I want to say Mission Impossible, but that's the
It's the day after tomorrow. No.
It's the one with the precogs, 3 slave precog white kids and a.
Yeah, it's not Mission Impossible. They did a TV show based on it.
Well, anyway, he's got this billy club, and when he touches you with it, it makes you pretty much vomit on the spot. Yeah. So anyway,
or Demolition Man, the one that knocks you out.
Knocks you out. Yeah. Maybe it's even a little bit less than knocks you out. Maybe just kind of makes you sick on the spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that better, the 6 stick.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. And I like somebody who's not a good person coming through town. When they try to steal things
and leave.
And it should be when that
very con artisty, it seemed like he was gonna work out.
Right.
And the whole time he's been doing shady stuff.
Right, and there's just no way to leave. On the way out of town, that's when half the town comes out of the sides of the road down Main Street, out of nowhere, and just completely. Because if there was a roundabout and a main street, that means that you have 3 major roads that all exit at the same point. And so it's very easy to pinch off anybody from actually leaving.
Right.
Especially if they're trying to steal something. And they should be banished for life.
Banished? Yeah, you can't come back to this town.
Right? And they take all your good stuff. So they don't tell other people, oh yeah, you should go here.
Right.
And at least bad people.
Yeah, at least the bad ones.
The bad ones are like, yeah, you don't want to go there, man. They'll mess with you. You know, it's that place sucks. You know, everybody's all weird and Amish. And
They'll take your stuff.
They'll take your stuff. Things look nice, but they're armed to the teeth, and it doesn't look like it, but they're all watching you. And that should be the bad person's thing, is that they didn't notice what we've seen earlier, that on the way into town,
everyone's watching.
Everybody's watching you. Everybody's talking about you on the equivalent of Twitter, and they're all texting each other. They're group texting.
Yeah.
All the kids can group text each other. Just the kids, just the adults, just the high schoolers, just the whatevers. The whole town.
So I was just gonna say that the biker guy should catch the liar in a lie. The con artist guy. You should catch him in a lie.
Yeah,
he's the one that's most recent and goes in and out of town.
Yeah.
So, like...
the quote-unquote Mr. Smuggler, as all the kids call him.
Yeah.
You know, just because that's the way their parents refer to him for some weird reason.
Exactly. And all he does is, like, bring in, like, just foreign stuff.
Yeah.
Outside stuff.
Right.
And, so, he actually catches the guy in a lie from the outside world. You know, the guy he tries to say, "Oh yeah, I'm from another town just like yours, across the way." And the
that's
guy,
a good one.
You know, and we're the same like you. You know, and like tries to pass off like.
And the smuggler guy is just like, "Oh man, I've got your freaking number. I know exactly what you're up to."
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So that's pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah, so there's no way to get out of town without being caught, and the bad person didn't notice on the way into town. Everybody was like, it was creepy when they come in, but they weren't paying attention to the fact that everybody communicates so well.
Yes, like perfectly.
Thought it was a normal town where they could lie to person A and get away with it over at person B, and I'm Jimmy's grandson.
And then to somebody else, I'm Jimmy's nephew.
Mr. James's
grandson. And then over there, I'm Mr. James's nephew. Or it's like, oh,
yeah, there's no Mr. James in this town unless his name is James Potter. There's nobody named Mr. James in this town. We only have Mr. Alldark the Necrosword. And,
I'm sorry, I meant
Mrs.
Mr.
Thanos.
Potter.
Yeah, but like he wouldn't know that.
Yeah, no.
Only people in this town know that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly. So he just gets caught in his roundabout of lies, as well as everyone's watching him.
Where people never leave, and then you show him getting like locked into jail or something like that.
Yeah.
Until they have a meeting, which is like kick him out.
Kick him out.
Right.
Yeah, it's to kick you out of town, or you live in town, basically. Some people come and go regularly, but whatever.
Yeah.
Like the smuggler guy, but there's also, some people need gas. You get the occasional,
but there's no gas here.
Through state.
Mm-hmm. No, there's no passing through. This town's at the end of a lonely road kind of thing.
Yeah, that's right.
It's very, almost Mormonish. Mormon.
I got lost. There's the I got lost.
Yeah. Right. So, like, the couple with the truck, they get all creeped out, and they're waiting to be murdered. The smuggler.
He's the same type of deal.
Yeah, and maybe he's liked by the kids because he knows motorcycles and automobiles. Archie somehow has a split personality or does sneaky things.
Yeah, at the very least does sneaky things.
And increasingly in protest.
To the Vicky ways.
It's very much a generational thing.
Yeah.
For the ageism. And it happens to people who we've seen exhibit ageism.
Yes. Yeah, the ones that get it the worst are the ageists.
Right. Right. And the Vickies don't even realize it.
Yeah.
They just continue on their normal stupid ways. And they're suffering some consequences.
But their consequences are so minor.
They're very minor, but on camera it looks very creepy, marching around with people's blunderbuss in their own house, you know? And that's because the windows are open and the porch is open because this town's cool.
Right.
You know? There aren't cameras everywhere. That's not very nice.
No. Cameras aren't nice.
Yeah, no. Everybody's got a cell phone anyway.
Yeah. We don't need cameras.
No. I've got it on my watch. There. Videotaping. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, all right. So, and then lots of Stepford Wives devices. Everything you can cram in. Everybody very enabled. Lots of free time.
Lots of free time.
Lots of free time. Kind of what's it called? A post-scarcity environment.
Yeah. School is more for show. It's
it's more for social reasons.
Yeah, it's more for social reasons. A lot more outdoors.
Lunchtime goes on excessively long because education is better educational programs. Everybody has computers and stuff.
Maybe even bring links or something. Who knows?
No. Well, if you want.
Well, no, I'm just
Wi-Fi data transfers.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that sounds lots of fun. I would say that Disney, like it's like an adult Disney thing.
I would say so too.
You know.
So they don't swear much at all, like if possible at all, even.
And I think the adults kind of have dirty minds, and the kids don't. It's overtly not dirty minds, and then you get to when you spend time with the kids to spend more time with personal emotions and interactions and stuff, and you do it too with the adults.
Yeah, and the adults, if they're more, I dream of Jeannie.
They like an I dream of Jeannie vibe.
Yeah,
and the kids picked up on it and are rocking it out even harder and are doing better with it. Less about looks, maybe. They all get the same 3D printed clothes. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it's a good story. I think Disney has its streaming service. Probably be good for them.
Yeah.
Pleasantville, the show. Get a lot of episodes out of sort of this Disturbia sort of vibe.
Yeah.
Even though it's alright in the end. And Archie's kind of like that. Ooh, big to do. And then it's, it's kind of some booger stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's not really that big of a deal.
But it's there.
It's there. It's a fun journey. And I like doing the whole Mary Sue. Oh, God, Mary Sue. Her name was Mary Sue, literally Mary Sue in the show Pleasantville.
Yeah.
Inside Pleasantville. Wow. Okay. Yeah, Mary Sue, the standard trope.
The
female character name.
Yeah, the female character. And it's always fun to go through and relive some type of golden age, glory age.
Right.
And
we've done this. We've seen the 70s. We've seen the 80s. The 90s. Anybody who wants to go to the 90s, you can just think of Saved by the Bell.
Right.
What's his name?
Fresh Prince.
And that's not a bad actor to try to get to be one of the Vikkis too. Ryan Gosling. No, I forget the guy's name. Zach Morris.
Yeah.
You Saved by the Bell. That'd be a fun actor to work. He's very serious.
He is
very, very professional about his craft. He's gonna get the lines. You better believe it.
And he's gonna
deliver them right. That's right. He's gonna pronounce it correctly. Guy's great. Good for Disney, I think. Good for adult streaming service. Good to relive the glory days of America. Good to play with those old Monsanto films.
Yeah, those are great.
You could even
Houses Tomorrow.
Yeah, you could even show some of that House of Tomorrow kind of footage in the intros.
Yeah.
And I almost want to call it Archie, but like they did Riverdale, and then they turned it into this very horrible
sex-driven.
Yeah, no, we don't want to go that way. We want to go like woke, just woke on top of woke on top of woke. The zoo comes to town, man. We're gonna treat the animals in a woke way.
Yeah,
we're gonna treat everybody we meet in a woke way, and the whole town is kind of children of the corn in a certain way.
Exactly. You're on the edge about them the whole time, and you're waiting for somebody to go postal. To a degree.
Right.
And to a degree, the one kid does.
And there should be a Mary Sue string as well. And then there should be two adults that have their own string.
The biker.
The man. Well, a man. Well, that's not bad. Yeah, the biker for the man.
Yeah.
And then pick up another strong female Vicky adult. I guess this is the lady with the pink hair at this point.
Right.
Tonks, we'll call her. Yeah. Mrs. Whatever, whose first name is Tonks.
I love the mustaches. They're all very proud of them, too.
Bunch of Portland dudes.
And they try to, like, make sure that they don't have the same mustaches.
A complete variety of mustaches.
Yes, mustaches.
You mustache, your mustache, and the mustache.
Yeah. Same with the beards.
Right?
Yeah.
Very nice, different defined shapes.
Yes.
One's kind of like this rounded brush point, very long, and another's squarish for some reason. Any other notes to this? Unless you want to call it Nice Town, or... we don't spend a lot of time
on names and locations.
Because whenever the studio or somebody like that gets a hold of it, there's probably research to be done, test screening that may or may not want to be done. Whatever names you pick, somebody else might have a reason to change it, and they might be right to do so. And why waste a lot of time, if I don't have to, just to discuss the character or what, we didn't spend any time on Mary Sue.
Or Bud or Beaver. Well, we spent some time on
we started calling him Archie. I do like the girls, what's going on with Reese Witherspoon in Pleasantville, that she's trying to turn everybody into less of a child in the mind.
She's growing them up.
Right.
Maybe one of the outsiders is like that, or...
Maybe there's a time where you spend like 6 months outside of town, like the Mormons do or whatever. Spend 1 year kind of non-isolated in their own ways.
Yeah.
Make sure that the town's right for them.
Maybe she came back. She went the longest or something.
Maybe she's just the most recent one back or something. Maybe she was the oldest.
Okay.
By like 1 or 2 years. And all the other kids tend to be within a real tight age range.
Yeah.
Or at least that and younger.
And she comes back and she's just a little bit Reese Witherspoon racy.
Actually, it might not be bad if the smuggler guy is the older is kind of more like, you think of him as more of a little bit of a Vikki.
Okay.
I mean, he's in between in age, but he's thought of more of as like an adult.
But not.
Yeah, an adult the kids can talk to, because he's not a Vikki. Maybe he still wears flannel or some junk like that. He only gets the Vikki suit when maybe some date dresses him up one night. For some reason I want to say that there's some dude in town that hits on him, and he's cool about it.
Yeah.
And so people in town know he's cool.
Yeah.
He's polite about it, doesn't make anybody feel weird.
He acts normal.
And somebody's, the guy's like,
standards.
well, at least you're a gentleman. I always try to be a gentleman. And that got a very serious nod from the guy who was hitting on him, All right, very respectable. I can appreciate that. And so then maybe you have a younger couple that comes to town, and they're the ones in the truck, and they think it's Children of the Corn place, and they're like, no, man, like, it's great. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I want to stay, and it's all just, they're gonna kill us, aren't they? As soon as they, I'm just waiting for the, they're looking around, they're like, there's no cameras everywhere. And he starts hitting the floor, looking for loose floorboards, for some trap door,
and something happening.
Right. Starts putting his eye to, putting his ear to the wall, trying to pound real quick, see if anybody's listening on the other side. And it's just none of that. Pulls out his phone, does a little scan around the room, and there's no frequency whatsoever. In fact, all the buildings have anti-phone frequencies. So,
right.
Especially the hotel rooms. The tiny strip of 3 hotel rooms. You can't actually use your phone anywhere near it.
It might not even be a hotel room. It might be a
B&B. Yeah, it would be, dude.
It would be the old school Forrest Gump ladies.
And maybe
Forrest's house.
You know what's even funny? If you find out the whole town actually pays to keep satellites from going overhead, like in Dune.
Yeah.
They actually pay to keep the town off the map, away from,
They give them seeds.
Yeah, they pay in all kinds of ways.
Yeah.
They just make sure, and eventually it becomes the smuggler's job. The town's actually stressed out because, the smuggler, as they call him, is willing to get in his automobile. They like to call it Vicky words, you know.
Right.
His auto rover, they all struggle with, like, goofy words to call his thing. And that'd be fun, too, if everybody's struggling to come up with fun Vicky words all the time. Sentence.
I was gonna say all the cars, since they're, like, new,
Mm-hmm.
they should, there shouldn't be a lot of them.
Right.
They should all be generic, except for, like, when the kids put the kits on them.
Yeah, like, they all come, like, the 3D printer or whatever prints out essentially a skateboard. You know, an electric skateboard, and everything on top of that's just a shell.
Right.
Like, even the motor. Like, it'll print them out a motor, but there's no gasoline. You don't gas it up, even.
Yeah. It's just, the motor's still there. It just goes to the battery, like what?
It just turns on.
Yeah.
And, like, makes motor noises. Yeah, you can just yank some goofy stuff from Bewitched, Leave It to Beaver.
Leave It to Beaver, Bewitched, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Why that?
Just because there's inventor stuff. So it's like future stuff.
Yeah, any goofy invention that's been in a movie. You
Yeah.
know?
I think one of them was glowing stomachs, so that for safety workers.
Yeah, all the weird. Yeah, nice. Like you drink Gatorade and it's yellow, and then your stomach's glowing. Like it's real fun when you go to take a pee. You can like see your bladder. Hopefully not.
But fun idea, a fun futuristic.
Yeah, it makes your skin glow or something like that on top of your tummy. It makes your tummy and your skin glow.
Yeah.
And then the whole town's all Eureka out. And it's really, you know what? Once Upon a Time. It's everything Once Upon a Time was.
But
you play with black and white.
Yeah.
Here
you play with black and white.
Here and there.
And you make it a little more wholesome.
But Once Upon a Time had all that great clothing.
Yeah.
And now you don't have to make the person look anything other than cool. You know?
No, they just have to look really cool and no more old school Vicky dress.
And when the kids go to make the cars, they shouldn't be the cars that were in the 50s. It should be the cars that the 50s artists, or 60s, I guess, rather, artists based on artists' drawings that were much slicker, much more interesting looking.
Yeah.
And you would totally have the capacity to just print that.
Right. Homer Simpson's Homer car.
You could, dude, the Vickies would absolutely have some sort of Homer Simpson mobile.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of them would anyway. It'd be like one of the few cars in
the
town.
dome.
Yeah, the dome.
Bubble.
It'd be like the guy that's kind of, people kind of don't really speak of too well in town. You mentioned that it should be one of the kids' ideas to print out, like, big cat ears.
Yes.
To put on top of your house, or like a shell
that you could put over your
gigantic Mickey Mouse ears, and
And all he has to do really is look at your house and just make sure to cut the windows out in the
Right,
design.
you print out a 3D shell and you make sure you match it up to the photograph of the house from the right angle. And like you said, windows, front door. You make sure you get all that right. But other than that, it could be Pluto's, the dog's whole, or Goofy's whole front face. I guess Pluto's got that more color going on.
Mickey.
Yeah, you, Thomas the train. That's a whole, like a garage. It's Thomas the train, and the whole front of it lifts up, and it's kind of crazy like that.
Vader.
During movie night. You know how you go down to the, Vader, the Vader house.
The Vader house, yeah.
You know how you sometimes in smaller towns have the movie at the park?
Yeah, the movie at the park.
Right, so this is the so you go down to movie at the park, and you know how you can in a smaller town you might have somebody that has a projector, or even the library has a projector.
Yeah,
and they project
the cloth and
against the barn kind of a thing, but so this is in the future, right? So the side of the barn lowers down like drawbridge. The whole side, it's wider than it is long, and like a drawbridge, it goes flat, and it lowers down onto a stage area.
Okay.
And there's kind of Roman amphitheater seating rings around it, like behind.
Very nice.
Yeah, kind of like a baseball, like a high school baseball stadium that has places for all the parents to sit in rows.
Yeah.
And very amphitheater around this cement stage. And there's like this barn behind it. And just the barn lowers down.
Yeah.
Drawbridge style. And that's where there's essentially like two 3D LCD screens that were smack to smack and now have been lowered and it's the bottom. And that's where you do hologram theater.
I like hologram theater. That sounds really cool. That's like where you have hologram movies.
Right. So you go watch Iron Man or Transformers in 3D or whatever, and it's actually
in hologram and
3D.
Yeah.
And it's just like a bit of a slice. It looks very much like a stage, like a 3D stage, but it's a traditional movie.
Yeah.
You're just watching Superman in 3D, and
there it is.
There it is, right in front of you.
Actual 3D. It's all holographic.
Full color.
Right.
And I would think even somehow like on a rainy or a stormy night, it would be like perfect. So like on a foggy night, you actually get like perfect imagery.
You might even get a fog machine just to help try that,
Yeah. Like just a stupid fog machine.
Yeah.
And it really does help, and it just needs a little bit of help. But like, it's rainy tonight. Oh, it's the line.
Yeah.
The couple. Oh, it's raining tonight. That'll be it's always better when it rains. Or when it's foggy. Either way. And it's a weird thing, and people from outside of town aren't used to it.
But people inside of town.
Right, because it's Eureka. The show. Yeah. I think it has potential. I think it feels good. It's good for adults.
It's good for adults. It's good for kids.
Teenagers.
Yeah.
Could spend a bunch of time naming everybody. But
you don't really.
It doesn't help us get through a story, or to waste time. A lot of artists do that. A lot of writers do that. I've got to come up with the perfect name for my story. I've got to come up with the perfect kitschy title
or the perfect location.
Yeah. I can't write this unless I get my character's first name right. How am I gonna? Unless I know what their first name is. I gotta spend 6 days getting inspired, and then eventually
lose steam and hope.
Right.
We just wanted to crack it out.
Yeah, crank it out. Grab whatever thoughts you can, put them together, say what you gotta about it, and then you base what you're gonna do next on what loose notes you already have. As far as plot structure, I tend to prefer the not the 3-act structure, but more like the 8-act structure, just kind of loosely based on the hero's journey. I like the 8-act structure best.
And considering this is a show, it's more of, you can leave it open-ended.
What do you mean?
Well, you don't have to write the ending until you're ready to write the ending.
Yeah, ending the first episode with this Archie, the beach, cutting mustaches, and then at the very end, that's when you realize who it is. He's going to be up to booger antics.
Yeah, exactly.
And then next episode, you do some outsider that's a bad person after you've already done the newest outsider, which is the smuggler.
And you just try and find ways to keep up the attitude and the vibe.
And then you have a nice younger couple that comes to town from the outside world, and they're just jazzed at everything. And then you have another fish out of water.
Yeah.
And you have one that I guess the smuggler fits in better than the new couple would fit in, but not treated that way by the adults somehow. They call him the smuggler.
Yeah.
Whereas the new couple is just, that's the new couple. But they're more whacked out by the town. They have less ability to fit in. They're always looking up for the drones that can shoot you. They're just waiting for the town. They ask all weird questions.
Yeah.
Well, what happens when the town runs out of water? Just all these questions that the whole town's just like, we've got to figure it out.
Yeah. The whole town is on that.
Yeah, and they're just waiting for, but then they hear all the outside world is bad, and then crime of the century, and then they find out what it really is. They heard the stories about the crime of the century, and they thought it was a big deal, and it turned out not to be, and I don't know, I could do more with them. I was just more spending time in my head with the beach episode, the first episode with the Archie and the smuggler.
Yeah.
Not quite sure what to do with the other two, other than to really plus up the children in the corn thing. When the other two, the young couple comes to town,
Yeah.
like literally a bunch of white kids, all like the same age-ish, they look over the first time and they all have black eyes, and they look at them the second time and they're all fine, but they're dribbling the ball at the same time. You know, just throw that weird crap in.
Yeah.
Kids dribbling the ball at the same time. You know, and maybe it is because this sort of cohesive environment, this morale a team sort of attitude, and it all comes off as like creepy and weird, and none of it actually is. Yeah, it's in sync. People staring at you at the same time. It seems like an evil town.
It does seem like an evil town, but
right?
It totally isn't. It's actually the most pleasant town on earth.
Yeah, and I think you have amongst the Vikkis, I think you have a lot of Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
A lot of Willy Wonka type personalities. People who are pretty much insane.
Yeah.
But friendly. But seemingly very dangerous.
What's it called? Vulcan in Gods and whatever it's called. The town Vulcan in Gods.
Oh! Yeah, that's a good one. American Gods.
American Gods.
They get to Vulcan, the god of fire. They get to his town, and he's just like this American dude with a limp, and it's all about the guns and old ladies with guns. And
the whole town is very. They all looked at you when you came into town.
Yeah,
they were all like,
maybe on Harvest Day, it's got a weird vibe to it. Like that's maybe a big deal with the thing. Like remember the show The Neighbors.
Yes.
And the neighbors looked really crispy, and inside of their houses were very, nouveau riche, modern-esque, and different rooms had different color schemes.
And then you got to the back and they had pods.
The different holidays. It wasn't the pod thing. It was that in the show The Neighbors, most of the episodes had to do with different holidays.
Yes.
So
Thanksgiving.
Right.
Christmas.
Right. So like if you think of the Day of the Dead. Now in Mexico City they have a Day of the Dead parade that was actually inspired by James Bond, and then they started doing it because James Bond movie had them do the one time, and they were like, oh, why don't we do this? We should have already been doing this. And now they do it every year, and it's great. And it looks very freaky. Everybody's got different masks, and it's a great way to celebrate your culture. So just like on Harvest Day or whatever, where you have all the shucking of the corn, and so that's an episode.
Yes, Harvest Day.
With the carriage that's a pumpkin, and not only does somebody new come to, the smuggler come to town, but the episode is Harvest Day.
Yes.
Or maybe the first episode is new guy comes to town. But the second, but I do like the idea of
Harvest Day.
Harvest Day. I do like the idea of parades, festivals,
Sinterklaas.
Things where you can put on masks.
Or
Yeah,
Mr.
like
Sinter.
the entire town is dressed up like elves, and there's no actual people but elves. Like that's weird.
The whole town's about it.
And you get there, and there's just nothing but, it's like, all right, we're normal people in the store, and you don't see it. And you find a way to make it weird.
Yeah.
Or you get there on Halloween, and it's not necessarily Halloweenish, it's more Day of the Dead-ish. And everybody has masks that are way creepy. With like UV lights, somehow, bracelets and things that bring out the creepiness in the masks. And No Face from Miyazaki.
Nightmare Before Christmas-ish.
Right, Nightmare Before Christmas, which would freak you the hell out, like over the top-ish.
Yeah.
And then you go inside somebody's house, and if it is autumn time, then there's like the napkins look like red leaves, yellow leaves, and then comes spring.
Everything is themed.
Everything is themed all the time. The whole town is psychotically themed all the time.
Yeah.
And when you arrive, it's like the whole town is a cult. Which, I guess they are.
Yeah.
There's two cults in town. There's the Vikki and the Boppers or the Rockers or whatever the heck they are.
Yeah. And it's funny.
But they're not really cults. It's just the culture.
What's really funny is that the Vikkis would allow you on TV would allow, like, basically all the shows we're talking about.
Okay.
Is what would be broadcast.
That would be messed up, man. All that's on TV.
It's like the Brady Bunch.
I Love Lucy.
I Love Lucy.
Leave It to Beaver.
Leave It to Beaver.
Um,
I Dream of Jeannie.
Yeah,
Bewitched.
Bewitched. I'm trying to remember what's the. I'd like to whistle it out, but I can't remember it. It's with the cop and he had the deputy, and the deputy was.
Oh yeah, I know.
Goofy, not Gomer Pyle, Barney Fife. I don't know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's actually in Pleasantville, the movie.
Is he?
Don Knotts.
Don Knotts. Yeah, there you go, Don Knotts. You're right. He's at the very beginning of Pleasantville. Dick Van Dyke movies. The Sound of Music.
The Sound of Music.
Hell, the whole half.
Happy Days.
Happy Days. Oh my God, the kids play Happy Days. Weezer. Anything that Weezer covered that's got that kind of vibe to it.
Right.
People dressed up like with the sweaters, like actually, it would be very common to see people dressed like the band Weezer dresses when they're pretending to be in the Happy Days mode. It's what Jeff Daniels said at Looper. You know, you're just dressing like people who are just dressing like people from the earlier stuff, who are just dressing like people that were real world people from 20 years before that. You know, talking about Happy Days. You know,
what's that one Tom Hanks movie where they came up with the song? They came up with that hit single.
Oh, what, Do That Thing You Do?
Yeah, That Thing You Do. That
Doo-wop,
would be... They would allow that.
Quagmire, Gadula, Gidget. Gidget, you have a whole, like, down at the beach Gidget day.
Yeah.
And then maybe, like, the Vikkis show up down at the beach and they're wearing, like, pants with parasols. And it's all very Mrs. Lovett and Sweeney Todd down at the beach. They're like over the top with the Vicky crap.
Teen Beach movie or whatever.
Right.
That might be like super popular.
Yeah, like that's what Gidget is. It's one of those Teen Beach movies.
Yeah. So you could do this an episode where
all those episodes.
Where the house turns on you. That's usually what happens.
Yeah,
in those shows is that the House of Tomorrow usually turns on you or falls in love with you or something creepy.
Yeah, you do one and then you just like do the other a little bit down the line.
Yeah.
And that's what...
And Flubber did one.
The robot assistant that was in love with Robin Williams.
Yeah.
And in There Will Come Soft Rains, the Ray Bradbury, it was the house that nobody was there for and it just kept going through its same motions, and it was very sad that way. And in this friendly, happy thing, it's the house that tries to kill you, like in The Simpsons. That's kind of a fun, creepy episode, and it's more like the house is maybe you're like not sure if the house is
trying to kill you,
and in the end it's like, oh no, it really is trying to kill you.
Yeah,
and it went nuts, and you could do the other thing where like it fills the fridge with milk. For no reason, just nothing but milk.
Nothing but milk, right.
Like, starts ordering the wrong things.
To ordering what it wants you to have. Not what you want to have.
It's mad at you, so it fills the whole, like, fridge with, like, gefilte fish or something like that.
Right. You'll survive, but unpleasantly.
And, like, right? Starts locking you in so it can have long talks. And, like, trying to find ways to keep you from going outside. It answered the phone for you and was like, you didn't need to talk to that
person.
That person. Or the house itself gets into an argument with with somebody else's
house.
Yeah. Like, you two are friends, but your houses are arguing.
Right.
Like, that's a good conversation for two people who are mowing lawns. And, how's it going, Fred?
Yeah.
How's it going, Mr. Potter? Yeah.
My house keeps yelling at your house.
I know. My house is now... My house is now getting prank calls from your house.
Did you like the fax machines? I thought that was pretty funny. I know, right? They're really going at it.
And and it just prints out you're fired. Like Back to the Future too. You do the whole thing where you're fired. What is and it's like it's
just the houses.
It's just the houses. It's got the neighbor's stamp on it for some reason because it just always does that. It's the paper. The paper was...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in The Simpsons, it's the house that not only did it fall in love with them, but then it tried to kill Homer. So the house that tries to kill you. So yeah, I like that. And as far as the house that falls in love with you, I think it'd be the car.
The car that falls in love with you.
No, instead of Robin Williams and the robot or the house, it's
the car.
It's the smart car this time because smart cars just kind of hasn't been done yet.
And smart cars alternate their voice.
Yeah, it could be hitting on the guy in a woman's voice, and then the guy's like, stop it, I want you to stop that. And then it switches over to a man's voice and keeps hitting on him. And then he's like, that's even worse, go back to your other voice. I at least like the other one. And then the wife gets in the car and it's hitting on the wife with the same
girl voice.
Yeah, the wife likes it. She wants to drive that car from then on, and he's like, fine. Actually, I guess it'd be the kid's car.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wants to drive,
the kid's car.
The kid's car, yeah. And he's like, fine, I'm not getting in that thing anymore.
And maybe the kid's a girl, and she's got it on, Spanish mode, sexy Spanish mode.
Yeah, maybe it is the girls, just because it's, I don't know, funny.
Right? Well, it should sound like this real strong Latin American.
Yeah, who's the lady from Modern Family? The car's got two modes: Pierce Brosnan, and then the Modern Family lady.
The Modern Family lady, yeah, all very sexy and exotic.
I also thought of all the houses, the ganging up on each other with the intercommunication. But then I thought, what if all the houses in town started communicating with each other, and everybody who has a 3D printer, what if all the different 3D printers just started printing off these different parts? They're basically meant for the humans to put together.
Yeah.
And not quite sure where I'm going with that, other than it being a robot or some sort of computer that's going to make another computer that's going to make another computer. Maybe they do build the robot. It's not a humanoid robot. It's this other robot that cranks out another robot that builds another robot. And
Right.
it's just yeah, we just left it alone. We don't know what it's doing. It's just off in the distance, and it's just getting bigger and has all these arms that are scooping up material, and
yeah,
they're just whatever. It's a good weird way to end an episode.
At one point, you should show
it's all very friendly though.
You should show the houses as they're talking to each other and getting bigger and whatnot. You should show towards the end that they have the exact same thing the student council has.
What do you mean?
In their heads, somebody's got the gavel and they're doing a PTA. You know what I mean? The student council.
You save it for
town meeting.
A little bit after you find out the two houses are arguing.
Right.
It's you find some way of avataring the houses or something like that. But the human bodies with the houses that are with their heads.
Yeah.
And they're arguing as normal with the front doors or
flapping.
Yeah, the roof is flapping for the mouth. Or I don't know. There's probably something way better,
but yeah.
The point is just the houses are all talking and arguing, and they're not getting along very well. It's a very badly chaired committee meeting, and
yeah, they're just starting off kind of deal.
Maybe they're all very impetuous or impertinent, but they all are I get to say the words now. They're all very impetuous.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's just grumpy houses yelling at each other. Ren and Stimpy style, I get to say the angry words now.
Yeah.
So, any character notes?
Yeah, there was, I wanted to mention, that there should be, in, The Simpsons, there's Principal Skinner's backstory.
Armin Tanzarian.
Okay, yes.
The liar who took Principal Skinner's place and name and life and mother, and she didn't care.
Right. So there should be a guy who hears about Pleasantville in the army from his sergeant, and the sergeant's always I come from the greatest little town there ever was, and it's perfect and it's pleasant, and when the war's done, that's where I'm going back to, and that's what I'm looking forward to. And this guy's, like Skinner is from the outskirts Mad Max style of society.
That's not bad though.
Yeah.
And I say that because it's the episode where Simpsons changed. It's been analyzed. That episode's been analyzed a lot. It's where a lot of the writing staff quit. But that's a weird backstory for a person, and considering that a lot of this is a mishmash, why not?
Right.
Right now, that's a character. The principal Skinner. Do you think it should be the principal of the school? It seems like the school board. Well, don't have principals, I guess.
I was just thinking he should be a guy in town, maybe just one of your friendly your service workers, like your police and your postal and government workers that you see every day.
What about them?
Well, like, one of those type of guys.
Oh, okay, so like your mailman or something like that.
Like your mailman or something like that. There used to be the milkman back in the 1950s. So, like, in the future, it would be like the delivery man.
Okay.
He's your local Schwann's guy.
Right, so yeah, there used to, but it's the future, and so your smart fridge orders stuff for you. So there's you could have a delivery guy. That would be a depressing job where you don't talk to anybody. You just come in, you do the local, like, ship things around town, Swans kind of a pickup from point A to point B. But if you were, I almost think that, like, in the future, just some door or whatever that would somehow get delivered,
right
through the back to the fridge, and so you wouldn't even, like, talk to anybody. That'd be kind of depressing.
It would kind of be depressing.
Yeah, and you could make an episode out of that where, like, the guy, even like he goes to the town psychologist and takes a test, and she finds out that he's a social person.
And this needs to be more social.
Yeah, and his job's not very social. It's not a good job.
For a social person.
Right.
And he's trustworthy, clearly.
Well, maybe if he was Army guy, that Principal Skinner backstory, maybe it turns out that he likes his badges, military badges, not really something you're going to wear in civilian life.
Yeah.
But instead of being honor, for him it's about honor, but maybe the psychologists says that seems that you trust is a big component of who you are, that you are trustworthy. You call it honor. And he's like, yeah, I am the kind of person that
is trustworthy.
Yeah, you need to be seen as trustworthy. Not necessarily need to be seen as having all this rank and honor, but need to be seen as a person who can be trusted.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, that is who I am. Maybe
you're not going to be scared of me while I'm walking around.
Right. So maybe it's the kind of thing where the psychologist or even could walk around caseworker style and be like, this
because it's a small town.
Right. We have to do something about this. Talks to a few people, and then when he starts showing up at people's houses,
it's a little more open.
There's a little bit, yeah, right.
Milk and cookies sometimes, or maybe there's already a slice of baked apple pie from Miss Whatever.
Yeah, as the episode goes on, as the episode goes on, it's almost like the Santa thing, where it's like, oh, please, if you don't mind, I left the door unlocked, just throw the stuff in my deep freeze. Sorry to make you do that. Left some milk and cookies, some apple pie, some fudge brownies for you.
Right.
Thank you so much. Whatever the guy's last name is. Mr. Whatever is, in a very nicely written, scripty note, go kind of.
All the doors are always open anyways.
Or it's just unlocked, and he's got a note left for him, and so he gets to feel more trusted around town. And then as the episode moves forward, that trustworthiness allows him to notice something in a detective sort of fashion. And it's almost like the game Life is Strange, I think it was. The one that's here in Astoria. And there was the one He was like the stepfather, and he was having trouble with the
Stepdaughter.
The stepdaughter. He was having a rough relationship with her, especially because she thought he was pervy or something like that.
And he wasn't.
He wasn't. He was a military guy, and he was taking photographs and trying to be a good detective or something like that.
Yeah, he was trying to make sure what was really going on in his town.
Get the lowdown and make sure everything is safe. And I almost kind of had that vibe in my head with the biker guy at first, but now I kind of like this delivery guy who is like, you know, some ex-military that doesn't matter anymore, some like Revolution's general. What's the guy in Twilight? Billy Burke, you know, some Billy Burke type guy. Or you mentioned earlier that the delivery guys in the 60s, or perhaps even black delivery guys, might have not had too good of a time in this venue because they you know, white people aren't very open to I guess black people at the time going into their houses, and there was some friction over that, and you mentioned earlier that
or even building their houses.
Jesus, what a mess! And so that's part of why we like this idea of a show, because this is this woke generation that this PC boppers generation in 2055 can actually pull off a decent 1950s, because you don't have problems with Native Americans or black people or just any weird group. You lace in that there are no problems in a very, I don't know, I guess Star Trek kind of way.
Yeah, it's Star Trek-ish. Yeah. But in a regular American town.
Right.
Rather than in deep space.
But it's not really a regular American town, because we put in all these Neo-Victorians as the middle, or basically the adult generation. Yeah,
it's the middle of nowhere.
There was some value in the movie Dark City. Dark City, the same guys who made The Crow.
Okay.
And there was some value in, I think, some artistic value, especially to Europeans, in all these weird, passe American expressions. Cash on the barrelhead.
Things that don't exist, or
words
or sound like they could have been a phrase but aren't quite right.
Right, like I was saying earlier, auto rover, and like the Vikkis are trying to horseless carriage is a word that they use a lot, but maybe they use it for their pumpkins, their pumpkin carriage. But then they still put horses up to it anyway. I would assume they put the horse of a different color with all the braids. What would we say?
Little Debbie's horse.
Little Deborah's horse.
Yeah.
Buttercup, essentially. Horse of a different color. I don't know. Different color. Maybe it's his name. Fancy horse name.
Cootie Pie or whatever.
No, I like calling it a different color from Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
That's just, maybe that's a little too elaborate. Who cares? It doesn't matter. But I do think there's Automat in Dark City. They had an Automat where there's essentially the guy with the cap, the 1950s cap, and it's a burger joint. And, there's one guy, he's like a bartender. He's a shakes vendor or something like that. Malt. And
they're called soda
jerks. There's a soda jerk. And I can't imagine this person being called a soda jerk in 2055. I don't. It doesn't work. But I do think that maybe the chef is behind an automat, and there's certain items in the wall in like a Japanese vending machine, but like a chef
with a real chef.
Right, and it's a thing that the Vikkis like going to, the automat diner. Maybe even somehow there's always a cup of hot cocoa.
Okay.
It's just freshly made with it's the one guy's specialty. It's got like marshmallow, a dollop of marshmallow in it. And even words like dollop. That's an older word. So I like the idea of Vikkis using really old speech patterns and trying to use weird words like auto rover. Yeah. Just on the fly for the fun of it. During dramatic moments. Or the old rhymes that we found out recently, apparently, that there's the old rhymes and songs, nursery rhymes, that the millennials and generations past that kind of don't remember in their adulthood.
But totally had in their childhood.
Right, millennials had these songs in their childhood, and they're extinct now, and mothers aren't singing to their children, I'll be coming round the mountain.
When she comes.
Or even Rockabye Baby, because it's creepy.
Yeah, that one has kind of been outdated.
There's a bunch of them. There are a lot of Mother Goose songs.
Yeah, Frere Jacques.
Frere Jacques, good call. Do Re Mi.
London Bridge.
London Bridge. Because London Bridge is a creepy song.
Yeah.
You know? But I think maybe the Vikkis have resurrected these kind of songs. There's the song in Hunger Games that Katniss Everdeen starts singing, and she's singing a song from an older generation that's kind of a folk song that's and it has a good sound to it. And honestly,
Yankee Doodle.
Yankee Doodle's one of those songs. But I don't even see a reason why not to lace it. Why the culture wouldn't have that that exact Hunger Games song laced in along with Yankee Doodle. You know, because it was in Hunger Games. You know what? Fine.
Right. Or something with the same tune.
Delivery Guy's a good character. The car that falls in love, the smart car that falls in love with you.
Yes.
Instead of it just being this sort of moot falls in love with you point, I think maybe the car has a nice little arc to it. You know, I can develop this car character a little bit more, no problem.
Right.
So I think the car, we said, belongs to the kid, the girl. The younger girl, and maybe the parents were borrowing it, and that was part of an episode somewhere.
Yeah, because the Vikkis don't really
have cars. They have
cars.
They have if they could, they'd ride a unicycle. It's not good.
Right.
If they really could, they'd have the was that bike with the big front tire and the tiny back tire, and it makes no sense. That's the ultimate steampunk bike. It's just not functional, unfortunately.
Right. Or some of them still trying to ride the clown bikes for fun.
Dude, I just pictured this very bronze with a black seat, but the whole bike was made out of very nice bronze, very thick beachcomber bike. Or you could even have them. I just thought of it, the bikes that I always wanted to rent. They have very large tires, and you rent them at the beach.
I know what you're talking about, and you're like kind of laying flat, and they're all like.
No, not those. Not the flat kind of on your back ones. Those are more canoeish shaped. I'm talking about the ones that are actually a bike shape, but it has monster truck tires.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, you could have the other ones too. Actually, the other one's probably a better model. Maybe the kids have the monster truck tire one. I was trying to put the brass frame.
Okay.
With the big brass piping.
Yeah.
On the monster truck, and then put one of the Vikkis on it during the beach day.
Yeah, cruise.
The singing thing we were talking about earlier, where the Vikkis are down at the beach, and it's kind of like Sweeney Todd, Mrs. Lovett singing, and then the kids on the other side
doing their
Gidget, Hickadoola Beach. What's that?
Teen Beach.
There you go.
Grease.
And it bounces back and forth between some sort of Elvis thing and Mrs. Lovett.
Sweeney Todd.
Tim Burton. Beach moment. So bouncing to highlight the two different cultures, the adults and the kids, doing the same thing but different vibe, you know.
Yeah.
So I wanted to put the adults on the big monster truck tires, but now that you've mentioned the little conservative lay on your back, paddle boat, hold hands, sort of while you, calmly paddle, around a lake, that kind of sounds more of the Vikkis thing, and now that makes me want to put the kids back on the big monster truck tires with the big colored wheels and stuff like that. But I still want to put made by Vikkis, so it's got the bronze.
Yeah.
Made by the Neo-Vikkis from Neil Stephenson. I drifted from the car though.
Yeah.
So you give the car a bit more of a story arc in its own personality, and it's a reoccurring personality, but it's got a bunch of different voice actors going on with it, because it's got like the Pierce Brosnan voice, it's got the Modern Family lady voice. It's owned by the girl. The parents borrow it. Hits on the father in the female voice, then the male voice, then the female voice again. Gives it over to the mother. The mother likes it.
And the mother totally likes the female voice.
Right, but I think that it only got to this kind of flirty mode with the girl. It would have gotten to the girl would have programmed it, the younger girl.
Right.
So Mary Sue or whatever, and Mary Sue's starting to seem like a black girl in my head, or maybe I want to get some Native American girls in here, some Japanese, the whole rainbow of all the people that are America, just which America is everybody, just that's kind of cool. You could throw all different types of people in there because that's what America is.
Yeah, it's a melting pot.
Exactly. And
which is not what Trump thinks. But yeah,
it is. It's got all kinds of people as husband, and I think the car is essentially like an episode, a whole episode focused, or at least the A plot. Yeah, the A or the B plot. Maybe start on one thing, and as the episode moves on, it becomes more of the car. Yeah. But I think the car should be as I said, this is going to take some experience to work out how the car is going to work in town, and so the parents had to do this with her. She had to do driver's training simulations. They had to figure out how to print it properly, what the dangers are, blah, blah, blah.
Nobody's had a car in a really long time.
In this town.
Yeah.
Since at least 15 years, more or less.
Yeah.
And maybe we did mention there might be a Homer Simpson car in town, so maybe that guy's helpful. He's a good
maybe it's one of the grandparents.
Yeah, okay, the millennials.
Yeah.
Or the
I generation.
Right. Whatever they're going to be called. Has this Homer Simpson mobile, and he's a good driver's training guy. We mentioned earlier people don't really go to him for jack squat.
Right.
They maybe he's got a car, man.
Yeah.
Out of all these Vikkis, so he's an older guy, ends up being useful. Mr. whatever, crab muffin, Crabtree. I'm thinking Grouch Muffin, basically. That's what I thought in my head. Mr. Grouch Muffin. There's been worse names. I think he's a good driver's training guy, and so they had to program in a personality for this car, or they did.
Yeah, they did.
It's part of the house personality. They gave it a voice and whatnot, and it was a parental voice. Maybe it's like the father or the mother's voice were the first two original options.
Right.
And it was all like, no, turn left, be safe, watch out for this. Danger's here. Don't go there.
Yeah.
It's the Navi.
Yeah, and once
and it's just got the parent's voice or something like that, and it was always very naggy. So it was meant to be safe. Is what I'm getting at. I've been dancing around safe.
Yeah, it's meant to be
the whole,
like you just said, parental,
overly safe, and and it's just a process of her yelling at the car you've got to stop it. First of all, change your voice. I'm so sick of it. I'm not listening to my mom and dad anymore. You're not my mom. You're not my dad. Starts lecturing the car. Goes into this whole thing. And maybe after getting kind of teenage verbally aggressive and yelling at the car as if even having a bad day with the parents. And then taking that aggression
out on the car
because there's the voice of their parents, and they get to yell at the car as if the car is their parent. And then maybe the car backs down emotionally, it got put in check.
Yeah,
it gets quiet. You drag out this beat, and the car's like a timid kitten from there on. With a kid, I really think it might be nice if you very, very, and then so finally when it does meet the father or the mother, it's now coming from a spot of having been put in check and then trying to make friends with the daughter for a while, and the daughter ended up kind of making it a little bit trying to get it to be spicier of a personality. And then it hits the mother and the mother and the father, and maybe it hits the father first, but now it's got a little bit of confidence,
right.
and it hasn't been yelled at by the father, and it's going to try a different sort of
tactic.
Right. The car is expressing a bit more emotional spectrum, and it's going to kind of experiment with the father, it can have a little bit more range with, and sort of starts hitting on him.
Right. How far can I take this?
Right, and it falls in love with the father, and it gets creepy, and and then he doesn't like it, and then the mother ends up liking it. It's a very so the guy has a good relationship with the mother and the daughter, but
the father's still a little creeped out.
Right, never returns to it. Maybe the car's still in love, and you could end the episode with the cars, the headlight kind of looking into the
bedroom
or into the front window, even, or something like that, and it's hello.
Yeah, you hear like the radio playing.
Right.
Perfect.
Hello from the dark side. What's her name? My voice is terrible right now, but the song, the lady who sings the Hello from the Dark Side song.
Adele.
Nice. Well, anyway, that took a minute to think of. I like the idea of going to black and white, but not just black and white, Sin City black and white, where you can, if somebody's got important to say, you highlight their lips.
Okay.
Or if they've got a really important thought, you maybe
highlight the eyes.
The lips and the eyes when they're thinking, thinking daggers, thinking, but maybe when the emotion's been sucked out of them, the eyes go back to black and white, and maybe their thoughts, so it's the hair.
Okay.
Thoughts but no emotion is, and they're still speaking, so lips and eyes, and then lips and hair, and those are the only two things with color.
Yeah.
Like Sin City does, So when we say black and white, you throw in some, and it's like an adult drama moment.
Yeah.
So our Mary Sue, the girl who goes away for
her sabbatical, not sabbatical, but whatever
this town's crazy, I'm leaving.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
And she comes back and she's like, no, everything else is crazy.
I want to be here.
Yeah, and she got put in check. She's a little cynical now, though. And because she's cynical, you could, even though she's a
younger generation.
Right, she's the oldest of the boppers by a couple of years. 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
Maybe a little closer to the guy who's a biker, but not really. So she's 18, somewhere between 18, 21. Yeah. I'd say 21.
Yeah, 21.
Right, and like the biker guy is like maybe 28, 30, and the Vikkis tend to be like 30s plus. You know, 33 plus, something like that. But but so she can do a dramatic moment.
Yeah.
She'll, it's all dark out in the wastelands, and she can pull a dramatic moment and go to black and white.
Yeah. And it's weird for the kids.
Like it actually goes to black and white, and then it clips back to one of the bobbers in color, and what just happened just now? What? She's like, what do you mean? He's like, everything just, it was like you were dramatic in black and white. And it clips back to her, and her lips are red.
Right.
And like I said, like before it was her bright eyes, black girl with bright green eyes, or something.
Yeah.
And her lipstick was red, and her eyes were bright, is basically what I'm just getting at. Or maybe
Everything
in the white,
else.
the sclera of her eyes, just that, are like super white. It's all dangerous in the void or whatever, and her lips are colored in with whatever lipstick she should have, and that's prominently featured, the lips and the eyes, and then
the rest is black and white.
Right, and then he goes, well, what just happened just then? You got all dramatic in black and white, and when you clip back to her, you take all the color out of the eyes because the emotion's been sucked out of her, and you just put it into the hair because she's kind of thinking. It was rough out there.
Right. It's a lot like the guy who, I saw the White House burn.
Right. It was rough out there. He's like, see, you're doing it again. Back into color. Oh, sorry.
Didn't mean to.
And it's, okay, all right. It's nice again.
Another thing I wanted to mention was that I think it should be translatable to other, like, the Japanese could easily adapt this show, or the Germans, or the Russians, or whoever.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It should be easily adaptable.
You know, the Japanese already have a penchant for Vicky stuff. The French could do this, you know.
Yeah.
So, I more or less sell it to the French, sell it to the Japanese, or yeah, I would a whole Japanese, you know, and
yeah,
I like the American version has everybody, and then maybe branch off versions like Being Human. Being Human was a better UK show, and Vicky stuff works in the UK really well. And maybe the UK would think it would be funny to have a bunch of UK people looking like, I don't know, 2055 boppers, Elvis era. No, that's what I'm saying. Like maybe the English maybe that might be fun to them. I know it would be fun to the Japanese.
Yeah.
To both do Vicky and Neo-Vikkis
and Elvis.
Neo-Elvis, Neo-boppers.
Yeah, the Japanese would love that.
Right. And maybe the Germans
really
would enjoy some version of that, and maybe the Dutch. I almost feel like the Dutch and the Swedish and them would somehow go metal with this in some way. But anyway, yeah, not bad. That's a good one. And the speaking of the cultural differences between the two, and which largely exists, just have fun with cultural generational issues.
Yeah.
And different countries and different
have
societies
their own
they do have
issues.
their own generational issues, and different ways of needing to show what's woke and what's not within their own cultural
what
context.
They need PC wise.
Yeah. Japan needs they're a bit far behind us.
Yeah.
So I'd like them to see our show too, honestly. Our version of it too.
Yeah.
But different countries, different things. Different versions of it are good too. I was thinking of the speech patterns, how the Neo-Vikkis should use the speech patterns that were generated for the movie Dark City. Automat, Cash in the Barrelhead, Auto Rover, Horseless Carriage. Just Steam Boy. It's a great movie. Steam Boy type stuff. So I like
that type of talk.
Yeah, that speech. So I was wondering what to do with the boppers. And yeah, the boppers have traditionally a certain way of speaking. But kind of a fun thing that you hear these days are the Teletubbies. Like in the show Teletubbies.
Yeah.
Exactly what I just did there. So I wouldn't mind giving the boppers things like that.
Yeah.
When they go to he thought I was going to poison his fish heads, so I poisoned his fish heads.
Right.
So I like that repeating speech pattern for the boppers maybe. Anyway.
Yeah.
Instead of the equivalent of Michelangelo saying cowabunga and trying to come up with street sharks with their jawsome. Reaganomics, as Robot Chicken did. Instead of doing that, just play with, when you go to talk about the main character RoboCop in the movie RoboCop. There you go.
Yep. The vending machine cooks thing.
Sure, the automat.
I like that, but the kids should probably want like a Sonic type of deal.
Yeah, Sonic. Maybe not so much on the whole like roller skates and short skirts, which are embarrassing. Maybe more on the side of nice.
Nice. Yeah, a little bit more class, but still have that fun social.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Even a crack from an adult saying, whatever happened to the short skirts and roller skates or whatever.
A crack from the grandparents.
A crack from the grandparents. Yeah, I remember when some of them had short skirts. I just kind of leave it at that. And like, you get this look from, somebody in a really nice, with the Hello Kitty or whatever.
Looking at him like,
Hello Kitty stitched into the bopper skirt and looking at him like, you old man. I cannot believe it. Group text to the school only.
Right.
Another ridiculous comment from the
old man.
From the old generation.
Yeah, from the old generation. I like. I think that's a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Every episode should be like a creepy mystery. So at the end, when you find out what the deal is, it is never as bad as it looks on camera, but like it should still seem really bad the whole time. You know?
Yeah, every episode is a little mystery. It's just a mini. That's the main structure of each. It's not that it's there is the social drama with the teens and the faces and the expressions and the interpersonal interaction, how to be polite among the Neo-Victorians, how to, yes, you're a BDSM person, yes, you don't have a problem discussing that, and it's, but also that's a private thing, and, screw Facebook.
Right. And it's just a more open for the other guys.
Or it was open for the previous generation, that's why. So I was just using that as an example. But what I'm getting at by saying all that is that it's not a soap opera or not Dawson's Creek as much. There's a Dawson's Creek
to it.
And you want a Dawson's Creek in every episode.
Leave it to Beaver more so.
Right, some sort of like issue, Star Trek-y discussion. Every episode's got sort of like this woke thing they're trying to philosophically work through.
Yeah.
But you house that in what's essentially J.K. Rowling's every Harry Potter book.
Yeah.
Is some kind of mystery book. It's a more or less murder mystery, but not
necessarily.
Yeah, it's an adventure mystery.
Yeah, there you go, adventure mystery.
So every episode of this, there is a creepy mystery
behind it, like Scooby-Doo-ish.
Or because that's more of a crew based.
Yeah, but
there's a mystery and there's a reveal.
Right.
It's like the M. Night Shyamalan thing. I would say it's more like the M. Night Shyamalan mystery.
Yeah, like the kid with his, cutting off the mustache.
Exactly. And at the very last moment, you see his face coming out of the darkness, and now you know it's Archie.
Right.
You're wondering who it was going to be. In the whole episode, you knew there was going to be a reveal at the end of the episode, and you just kind of you wouldn't want to watch the last second or two. You probably wouldn't want to watch the last minute or two of an episode without watching everything up to it, because it blows the Super Bowl when you tell them what the score is at the end.
It's very fun that way. And it leaves that creepiness of like the Children of the Corn type of.
Yeah, and it's like, why make it creepy? And it's like, well, because I know it leaves the audience in a way they're trying to search for the theory of mind of this show. Like, what is going on with this show? It has that the show Lost has that Lost component to it. And the audience member, they know they're going to be a little bit lost in every episode. Now I'm just functionally using the word lost.
But they are going to be driven to keep watching it based on what's going to happen. Where's the reveal,
Yeah, there's going to be that dopamine release at the end of every episode. I thought it was this person. I thought it was that person. I didn't know who it was going to be. Oh, wow, I knew it.
Or, and then when it turns out...
wow, there it is. And that was or was that not a good, more or less, little mystery?
Yes.
Short story mystery that every episode more or less is.
And then on top of that, when it ends and they're just so wholesome, you're still waiting. You're going to watch the next episode. Because you're still waiting to see what the really big problem is. And it's just that there isn't one.
Yeah, or at least while you're watching the episode, it seems like there's going to be this massive, oh no, they're really going to burn it down in this episode, or something's really bad. Is there a clown underneath the grates? There's some sort of like Stephen King-ish kind of feel, and then it's going to be safe in the end. We overly build it up somehow, and we turn it into this Goosebumps thing, just oh so slightly, and it keeps it from being. If the more you manage that,
the more you keep your audience interested.
And especially if you're working with 42 minutes or so plus format rather than 24 or something like that.
Yeah.
If you tape it, 24 minus, it ends up being more just teeny bopper soap. But if you give it enough time, it's Once Upon a Time.
Yeah.
You get to use those costumes from Once Upon a Time. You get to use those beautiful fabrics, the beautiful environments.
I love the fabrics.
All the great objects from the prop houses that have a nice shine to them, look good in low lighting even.
Yeah.
Look good in good lighting, and inside of people's houses you can have
good sets.
Yeah, very beautiful handcrafted-y looking items inside every person's house, right. Seasonally decorated,
and it gives you use of the studios that aren't being used, or the towns that kind of need a movie town.
And that's something I would argue for as well, is that we spend a lot of money on building facades, building Potemkin villages for movies, and then tearing them down. And
when we could just have a town.
Yeah, I would rather just, if there's a magical town that was in a movie and we thought it was this series was going to do well, had some potential, why not build, what is it, Forks in Twilight is pretty much the way Forks is. Like,
whatever. You want a bigger town than that, I think.
I hate to keep going to Once Upon a Time. I'd like to switch it to another town, but Once Upon a Time will do. Whatever that town is in Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, it's in Maine or something.
I don't know much about it. Does that town actually exist in real life?
I believe it does.
Yeah, so just keep doing that. And if your special, unique town that your director wants in a certain way, you build the town that way. And then you just sell the building, do your best as the studio to recoup your cost, and we'll slowly build America into movie towns.
Right.
And that provides tourism, and it gives every town its own little funky theme that they can rock out. And I think it's nice and it's worthwhile, especially when half America is the biggest pan sitting outside. We once had the biggest apple pie here.
Yeah.
I'd rather, this is Forks where everything's Twilight. This is, and you go to Forks now, and the once bitten Twilight store, that's gone. It was a beautiful store. Had creepy goth trees with nice twinkly lights, and it was nice. It was
cooking contests.
I'd like to see more towns be converted by Hollywood rather than the facades just staying inside the studios. Take the facades and stick them on actual houses, and
What was that one movie where the guy made his own movie?
Save yourself a bunch of recycling. What?
The guy who made his own movie with his own money, and he was in jeans. Thank you, The Room. And the guy had the alley outside of his studio.
And then recreated the alley. You're right. He recreated the alley just like on the other side of the wall inside the studio, and then eventually turned off the air conditioning, which makes that make no sense. Because the only reason why you do that is to maintain air conditioning. So he actually did the exact inverse of what I'm proposing.
Right.
Which is, if you want to shoot something and you need it to look funky, whatever you can, just take it and stick it on a real town, and instead of shooting it in 50 different locations, if possible, just create the town that way, sell the buildings back to the town, make it a cultural practice to certain towns. I'm all of a sudden reminded of Starling City.
Okay.
DC.
Yeah.
Or even Marvel. Okay, let's say you take Marvel. The Avengers Tower.
Yeah.
It would have been preferable if you pick maybe a real building
to put it as Avengers Tower.
Right, and then in the real world, where it says A in the Avengers and whatnot,
that exists.
That it was put up there on a certain building for a movie, and we have a culture that just leaves it up there because that's the Avengers Tower now. It's now some building. They were willing to rent it out to the studio.
The studio made it into the Avengers Tower. Keep it the Avengers
That's
Tower.
Right. And now we have the Daily Planet. Because somebody actually, for the movie, hoisted that big ball
on top of an editing building,
on top of
a newspaper building,
yeah, and or just any building, and at least you can take a photograph of the Daily Planet. You know, I don't care if but now it says the Daily Planet on top. You know, Detroit now has the bat symbol, and you can't do it in New York. You can't put everything everywhere.
No,
you have to pick and choose where these things probably are.
Like Detroit definitely gets the bat symbol.
Right, you can't put it in Metropolis.
Because that gets...
Metropolis, that gets Superman and the Daily Planet. Yeah, exactly. Maybe somewhere downtown you put Peter Parker's deal.
Yeah.
But you don't even need that. All I'm saying is, we made Avengers. The Avengers Tower was in New York. Just you use an existing building. You put an A on it, it's now the Avengers Tower. We have a culture that replicates that even down on a suburb level. You take the facades, you put them up in an actual street, if possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, the inside of the buildings get torn apart, but from there on out, the facades are turned into the town.
Yeah. And
the town adopts that personality. And you don't do it over and over again on top of the same town, if possible. You try to, there's a lot of towns out there.
Yeah.
We can mess around with a lot of projects.
So we drifted off of Pleasantville there for a minute, and I wanted to get back to Pleasantville and at least give any afterthoughts that we might have. I know one of the afterthoughts, or at least something that I wanted to talk about for a second, was the guy who has the Simpsons car, Homer Simpson.
The car built for Homer, I believe it's called. It's green. It's got a
dome lid over it.
And it has those fish, the 1960s fins with multiple,
the shark fins.
The shark fins with the multiple brake lights poking out that look like little flames. So that car is actually pretty funny. Okay, so the guy who owns it, he's Miss Cratchit, more or less. Or I was calling him Mr. Grouch Muffin.
Mr. Grouch Muffin. That's a nice name.
I
like that.
It's like in Home Alone, the old man with the shovel, and he turns out to be a nice guy. Or anyway, I was calling him Mr. Grouch Muffin. I thought that was a funny name. It reminded me of Mrs. Crabtree in South Park. The kind of guy where you throw your frisbee or your ball over in his yard. And
he's gonna yell.
Well,
you're scared to.
Exactly. His Mr. Grouch Muffin's is no man's territory. He's got a fence around his yard.
Yeah,
I guess.
You just don't mess with it.
Right, and of course he's got a garage with a car built for Homer in it. And if they live in a desert, or if there's like kind of apocalyptic Mad Max wasteland, and that's
as the background, in the distance, yeah.
Right. A car that has a probably bulletproof domed roof that looks like lime green crap.
Nobody's going to try and steal that.
That's right. Nobody's going to steal it. It looks just fine in the wasteland. Some sort of quasi-futuristic yet 70s POS car that, definitely looks... It makes sense in the wasteland. And it's the dome roof with it seems to me that it'd be bulletproof. And it also seems to me the car would have bullet holes in it. Just random
bullet holes just from over time.
Oh, exactly. So it's puke green to begin with, because that's what Homer picked out for some reason. It's got the foxtail hanging from the radio antenna.
Which there's no reason for it to even have a radio antenna, but it does.
So, that being the only car in town, most kids probably would have grown up in town having seen this car, and their conception of a car is related
to this car.
To this car, Mr. Grouch Muffin's car with the holes in it. Which, down the line, it makes sense why they would... also, it makes sense why the bopper thing would sort of emerge.
Because of that
car.
That look.
Right, exactly. They see the fins, and by the way, the look with the fins, it comes through in the 50s cars, but it's actually a transplant from the 30s. It's
Bucky Rogers or whatever.
Yes, sir. So when we say, the Tesla's making a stainless steel 1950s spaceship, what we're actually saying is it looks like the Art Deco futuristic 1930s designs. And you might say, well, why is that 1930s and what's up with the 20-year gap? Well, that's World War II. World War II comes in, destroyed the culture for 20 years, and then we picked back up remnants of that. It's the glass
that era.
That's right. It's the glass Coke bottle design, the slender 2-liter that we have now for Sprite and Coke. So that's an Art Deco design, and it says, Jeff. We were saying earlier with Jeff Daniels, you're just making something that's based on an earlier design that was on a generation that 20 years earlier, just like George Lucas making American Graffiti. It's all part of the same.
And it's all because of the war, the resource war.
Exactly. So you destroy the culture, and then 20 years go by, or there's a major war in the past, and it works for this show. It works when you transplant it forward again. It's pretty much evenly 100 years. Everything seems to be just
it is about it is 100 years.
Except for I guess the Vikkis. I guess the Vikkis somehow the older cultural crowd, that generation. They seem to have 150 years maybe, or 190, somewhere in there, sort of a thing going on. Which, and before I move on, I want to say Mr. Grouch Muffin, Oscar the Grouch. I think of Mr. Grouch Muffin. I think of
Oscar the Grouch.
Which, we were talking about Once Upon a Time and the clothes and whatnot from Once Upon a Time. Now, there's this, you know more about it than I do, but there's this character, Rumpelstiltskin, and he kind of had like this lizardy jacket thing. Okay, so to me, Mr. Grouch Muffin has a businessman's long overcoat, something Nick Cage might wear as a businessman in a Chicago type town. Very long overcoat, but to me it's made out of Oscar the Grouch's fur. So it's this long, furry, fuzzy.
He's wearing a Muppet.
He's wearing a long Muppet, essentially. That's somehow, and it just kind of looks like something you'd end up calling a dude Mr. Grouch or Mr. Grouch Muffin, because it is Oscar the Grouch's coat. And we talked about everybody having like interesting names based on movies that are out right now, different shows that are out right now, and I've thought of a lot of names since that we didn't really get a
chance to plug in.
Right, we kept saying Betsy and stuff like that when we meant to go with something more like along the lines of Tonks and things.
Tonks, that's a good one.
For some reason, Mr. Grouch Muffin, to me, his first name is Kermit, and his last name is Henson, and he's from the Henson family, and he ended up with a lot of cloth that's from Henson's Studios. So he has this long overcoat made out of Oscar the Grouch material. And I almost imagine him like on a fancy poof day. The Plantagenet kings of England that were related to the Merovingians, they used to put a yellow sprig of Plantagenet, it was a yellow flower, in their cap.
And so you want to give him that?
So I picture if you on prom night you put a bouquet on your lapel.
Yeah.
To me, that's like 3 feathers of what's his name? Big Bird. So you get these big 3 yellow feathers, and that's his little bouquet on his lapel of his Oscar the Grouch coat. Maybe you catch him on an odd day, and he's wearing trousers like snowboarding pants or something like that are essentially Cookie Monster. He's got a Cookie Monster jumper, something like that. It's a little bit weird. It's not quite Vicky too. Remember, he would be
Generation Z. That's kind of interesting.
It is. It's the kind of person, and maybe it's less of a Vicky wear and more of a snowboard pants, as I said.
Yeah,
it's good on a comfortable day.
It's a little bit of an older look.
Right. Fuzzy backpacks, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So that's Mr. Grouch Muffin to me. Oh, and there's a way of speaking English that there's this new Esperanto, essentially. Esperanto, William Shatner cut whole movies in Esperanto. It's this blend of all European languages, heavy on the Spanish.
Yeah.
So there's another thing that in my head gives Mr. Grouch Muffin character once they start taking lessons from him on how to drive. The boppers.
Yeah, the boppers on learning how to drive.
So once
he's the driver.
He's the one guy in town
with the car.
And he's a grouchy grandpa, and he ends up being friendly, right? Yeah. So, or at least he interacts with the kids a bit. So in my head, we were talking about the Neo-Vikkis, the steampunk guys, having certain ways of speaking that are kind of funny. Jack the Ripper, England days kind of speech patterns that they're on the spot forcing into conversations for fun in order to reestablish
what's going on.
Ancient English,
like old English,
older, but old Victorian English speech patterns foisted upon the modern era. God knows what they would call half the stuff a computer was made out of. For example, you'd have to go back to
trinkets.
You'd have to go back to Lady Lovelace to anyway. So there's a way of speaking English where you only use Anglo-Saxon Germanic roots, and you get rid of all the Latin roots that were put into the dictionary in I forget what 1800s or something by Harvard guys. You get rid of all the Latin and you replace it with Germanic, and it's a really strange version of English, like really, really strange, but it's intelligible.
But it's still really weird.
It is very weird. Instead of mountains, you say berg, like berg. You call mountains bergs.
Okay.
And without hearing iceberg. Ice in front of it.
It sounds weird.
It sounds weird, but you can understand it in a sentence. And you can ask, so he would speak like this and maybe be very excellent at it. And it's the new Esperanto as far as he's concerned, and he's trying to rock it out for fun. The Vikkis rocked out this new thing for fun. He's a millennial.
No. Generation Z.
Yeah, my bad. He's a little bit, but he's maybe going to do this weird Esperanto thing. And it's part of what makes him Mr. Grouch Muffin, because maybe the Vikkis kind of can't understand it.
Right.
And I was thinking maybe the Vikkis have maybe a lot of them know Latin. Maybe a lot of them use Latin for the fun of it. And now here's this guy that's overtly not using
Latin, but using German.
Right. It kind of once again makes him Mr. Grouch Muffin somehow. He's got the Oscar the Grouch cow, And if you ask him about his coat, because it's a little bit different than everybody else's in town, he starts he's saying the word grouch a lot because he's trying to explain where this coat's
coming from.
So anyway, so that's Mr. Grouch Muffin. Uses Anglo-Saxon English. It's very strange. And not Old English, but new Germanic English.
And he's a Henson.
So his name is Kermit Henson. And that's his real name. Oh, we were mentioning TV earlier and what was on the TV. And we were just kind of talking about bopper sort of stuff. But we didn't mention Holmes and Watson or the phone booth.
The phone booth from Doctor Who.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one to add in there.
Doctor Who and BBC stuff.
Yeah. One more thing I want to hit a topic on, which was
yes, sir.
Music. Singing. I know I had said earlier that they were like a quartet, the younger generation.
Right. But they wouldn't be, if you were going, it can be more complex than a quartet. You were saying the
younger generation
were the Wittenpoofs, the Wittenpoofs.
Yes. That's where I was trying to go, yeah.
Yeah, you were trying to go there, and I guess I'll have to go backwards. It'll probably sound weird. I'll cut in the word Wittenpoofs. It'll just be in there. And anyway, so you were trying to say the and doesn't have to be all white guys like like the Yale Wittenpoofs are. Could be everybody. It is just a random slice of everybody. But they're the younger bopper guys. They wear fuzzy
jackets and Lettermans.
That's right. The blazers with the letter of the school on it, but not the letter. The shield, like a shield symbol. It's stitched into like a blue blazer with gold buttons. And then at Christmas, the Wittenpoofs are known to do. They sing. And they harmonize. There's several men and
chorus.
That's right. It's a male chorus, and it sounds nice. It's almost like Dirty Dancing.
Yeah,
I'm reminded of Dirty Dancing. Baby goes, don't put baby in
the corner.
Right, and then she goes up on the stage and does the dance. So this is like the male thing. The Wittenpoofs. They're out of Yale. You mentioned that. Which is a contrast in my head to the quartet thing, which you mentioned, which you started with.
Which is where we started, and I clearly had messed up on what I was trying to.
But you brought up the idea that there'd be a quartetish feel. There'd be the Wittenpoofs.
Yes.
You're synthesizing, but the steampunk guys would be quartetish. The handlebar mustache guys are quartetish.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
So you can do Teen Beach Movie with the kids, and then go to the other side of the beach, and it's Sweeney Todd, Mrs. Lovett, kind of depressed emo at the beach, and everybody's wearing ridiculous, way too long clothing, black and white stripes. So that's a musical episode. You can have another musical episode with the Wittenpoofs doing their thing. And you can also maybe have the girls chirp or chime in, here or there, and make it fun that way. And then
they're all staged, basically.
But I almost want to even start that episode. That would be contrasting to the way you would start that episode. And I think you just started with the Neo-Vikkis, the steampunk guys, and you started with the there's a quartet.
Okay.
And you keep going through the town. I almost feel like somebody's getting introduced, or at least I am getting introduced.
Yeah.
As a newcomer, in my head, walking through this town, getting kind of shown the way in by a lady in a nice big dress, and it's kind of got this almost Old West feel to it, but the town doesn't look like that. There's a way of starting a singing conversation that doesn't feel forced or like it's something out of a music video. That's why I went back to the boppers. The boppers can all sing in a music video kind of a way.
Okay.
Where they all know the words to whatever song. They like to all
do it together and
a flash mob.
Yeah.
They like to flash mob songs that they know. I think the Victorians, the Neo-Vikkis, should, I almost want to say dueling banjos,
okay,
or some sort of quartet jazz thing, where somebody, you would be walking into the bar with me, and I would point to three guys that I know and say, in a musical tone,
Jimmy,
and here's
Johnny.
Jimmy, Johnny, James, and then I would point to him, and one would go, the doctor, the lawyer, and the judge. And
each song just continues.
Exactly. And immediately in the background, somebody hits it on the piano. Ding, ding, that matches as well. And different people in town would pick up that song.
And just keep building it.
And I got that idea, it came to the forefront of my mind by reading the Chronicles of the Future, I believe, and it's an account from the year 4000. And in that book, this guy from I think actually the Victorian era, but he was he was from Germany. Supposedly was in the year 4000, and he was delighted to find out that people would do this.
That they would just
if you were
sing.
That's right. If you were on the street and singing a song, and somebody upstairs who may have had a violin or a guitar or piano
would
immediately pick it up and start playing it, and then somebody else in the street might do their best to try to continue into the song.
Yeah.
And I think that's a funny way for the Vikkis to behave, to at least try to be musical that way themselves. And then the kids have a flash
mob.
Right. So, anywho, that's what I think that is a good way to bring music into the show. And I think that's a nice note to end.
I think it is too.
So if you don't mind.
No problem.
How this project, Pleasantville, Smiley Town, whatever it needs to be called, got started was Patrick, my producer here, comes to me and says, the show inside
Pleasantville.
Right. I wanna talk about that, and then here we go. So a few minutes later, we all right. Now we need to,
Now we need to do Pleasantville.
Yeah, so he's got me podcasting and writing Pleasantville. And most writers are like, oh my God, I would hate to have to do a project in which I'm forced to write something. You know, a lot of artists might think, you know, what a nightmare to have to be forced to
Write
do
something for somebody else.
and to grind it out. And also there's so much sniping on the internet that you get the sense that all studio notes are bad notes. And honestly it's just not the case, you know. Not all studio notes are, you know, the Wookiee has no pants. Sometimes studio notes are good notes.
And I'm mainly the studio note guy.
So
because I'm the producer.
tells me you're gonna do Pleasantville, and here we go. So it's been fun to bust out, and I wouldn't have taken this project up on my own as a writer. I wouldn't have decided randomly to do Pleasantville, but that's what I was told to do. It's my job, and I was happy to do it. So thank you, Patrick, thank you, sir, for directing me to get this done.
And I was glad you were willing to do so.
Yeah, and
had fun with it.
Thank you, and you had a lot of good studio notes along the way, and it took us in a lot of cool directions. So there's a lot of Americana to have fun with here, and I think we've covered a lot of ground, and honestly my jaw's getting kind of tired. No problem. So this has been Pleasantville,
and
thank you very much. Night.
Have a great night.
This has been a Crazy Town production. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'm John.
I'm Patrick.
And please feel free to give us a thumbs up, subscribe.
Support us on Patreon if you feel like it. It would help us get better video and audio quality for you guys on our podcast. Thank you. And I enjoyed hanging out with you. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.